Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. We are nearly set and ready to go with the finals. But before we do that, let's take a look at a pentakill that happened earlier in the tournament for Cognitive Gaming, who you will see in the finals, Barracuda. And here it does go underway, so he's playing the Uller here. There's an Athena ultimate out on top of him. The damage starting to come out here now. You can see the big crit, 650, 812, 822. Down goes to Poseidon as well. He continues just to back up and auto-attack him. Doesn't look like anyone can close the gap before he just blows them up. Down goes Mr. Wiggles as well. The triple coming through. Now going to be switched stances. One more auto-attack to pick up the Baka as well. And then just to seal the deal, why not? The team going to give him Aphrodite here. 1, 2, and Yahtzee. That's a pentakill for your boy Barracuda. And now the question is, can he take that kind of performance and take it through Dignitas? They did beat Snipe pretty handily, apparently, as well, DM.
His crits were swinging from anywhere from 380 all the way up to 880. I mean, he was swinging so hard, and Barracuda finds it. You know he's excited about it. And, you know, it's always a big feat. I mean, it's hard to get that in, you know, if you were 5 men queuing against, you know, any random team. I mean, being able to set up a situation like that is incredibly difficult. And for Barra to get that in the tournament game is incredibly impressive. So congratulations to Barracuda.
Good. First North American penta?
Ever? Is it? You guys don't play enough of Mana.
Maybe. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is, actually. But still, a nice play nonetheless.
Yeah.
And your finals are going to be Cognitive Gaming versus Team Dignitas 2 weeks in a row now. Dig, if you did miss it, did pick up that game over Snipe. Snipe looked really strong this week, but Cog still edging it out. Looking at Wolfie here on Twitter saying that I guess Freya did some work for Andy in that game because forgot to ban Freya, lost game, he says.
I had a chance to go back in and watch the game on 3 times speed or 4 times speed, and it was pretty incredible. I mean, I was constantly hearing double kill, Andy's name would pop up. Double kill, Andy's name would pop up. I mean, Freya's or rather, yeah, maybe even in that order is fine. I mean, he has done an incredible job with that character.
12, 3, and 16 in that game. That's a lot. And honestly, at 12, 3, and 16, Jeff Hindla goes 5-0 and 22 on Sun Wukong in the game versus Snipe. So Jeff proving his worth yet again.
Yeah, Jeff actually went on a killing spree at one point with support. I mean, that's an incredible feat. Especially against a team like Snipe that's so aggressive, especially in the duo lane where Allied loves to just look for any opportunity, maybe not to even get kills, but to do damage. But unfortunately, Snipe did fall as we get into the pick ban phase for Dignitas and Cognitive Gaming.
With first pick on the left side of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, Team Dignitas, the right side will beat the boys from Cog.
That's right. Option's going to go immediately, though, to Dignitas. They will have first ban opportunity here.
And they're going to look at...
Zeus is going to get taken down, which means Dignitas has an opportunity here to draft a top-tier jungler. Though they have veered away for this in favor of characters like Loki and Athena, so who knows what they're thinking.
Well, we'll see what the final ban is coming out from COG here. My guess is that they'll ban... Well, Dignitas seems perfectly willing to let Bastet through. So what do you ban out here? To try to throw them off their game? What do you... I mean, you got to try to guess what they're going to first pick. SWK here?
I'm surprised really to see that Dignitas has opted to get rid of Zeus. If they're getting rid of Zeus to force them into a situation, the only situation that I could see is to force them into the jungler option. Some Wukong still on the table. I would say go for Poseidon, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Hunbot's super strong, but I mean, with the level that, you know, Lassus has been playing and the attention.
Maybe first pick tier here.
They could do that too. I mean, there's a lot, but yeah, Poseidon's going to be hovered on and locked in immediately by the best. Smart pickup. Cognitive has option of tier. Wukong, Hunbots, Uller's still on the table. I mean, there's a lot of strong picks.
Wow, and it looks like COG is just going to respond with 2 snap picks of Tier and Hunbots here. You see them coming in on the overlay there, so a lot of control from Cognitive Gaming so far. Drafted over on Team Dignitas. No big surprise. They're going to take a look at some Wukong. You expect this to be locked in 100% of the time. And now it just comes down to Zapman. What are they going to run here? You would think they're probably going to draft their Hunter and take the Uller would be the conventional wisdom to draft here. And it looks like that's going to be the case.
Option back over to Cog. Maybe looking for their mid laner here. I don't know if they're going to want to try to counter just yet, but there are opportunities. I mean, there's still support wide open. Wukong has already been drafted. They don't want to get push too far back in that category. They could go for Geb. They could go for Bacchus. We've seen Jeff's Athena recently. So, I mean, he has, the world is his oyster. But it looks like we're going to see the Neath pick up to try to go for the Uller. It doesn't look like we're going to see Barracuda take any unconventional mage picks against the glorious one. And it's just going to try to maybe pick up Neath to try to control Zapman.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable. Conventional Wisdom is Neath, the best counter available to the Uller. So they're drafted just to make sure it doesn't get banned out. Seems to be the case here. But that, I would say, goes into Dignitas' favor because, Cog forced into a pick a little bit earlier than Neath is really warranting necessarily.
Sure. I mean, I think I would say that's pretty accurate. But ban phase back in option. Looks like it's going to go Freya going to be banned out
Makes
here.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, take it away from Lassus. Immediately, Scylla is going to be taken away. Option goes back over to Cognitive. Likely going to be their mid laner here since Scylla's banned and Poseidon's picked. I mean, they have nothing really more to offer to that. So, I mean, why not go for it? On the table, we still have Agni. We still have Isis. MLC Stealth has...
Isis probably the pick here.
I would like to see the Isis. I love Isis against Poseidon. And MLC Stealth is one of the players I think that makes Isis look the best.
They may pick Agni, though, just to bait Lassus into a Loki pick. Stranger things have happened. I mean, yeah, of course.
Okay.
Ra's going to be drafted.
MLC
That makes
Stealth,
a lot of sense.
Hovers on.
Yep. That's very just safe. You're just going to try to stall it out versus Poseidon. On the side of Team Dignitas now, this Freya ban very smart because this forces them into Athena if they want a magical jungle or some kind of hub one nonsense.
So Ares going to be hovered on
or
here.
Ares jungle, duh.
I'm sure
Expecting Cognitive to draft the Arachne here.
I'm sure the best is attempting to troll us again. Unless he locks it in, I'm not going to be very surprised.
Yeah, no, we won't see Ares. Nemesis seems reasonable. I mean,
I still think it should be Thor.
Zap those protections if they do stack physical.
Nemesis.
And they need magic damage. I can't believe it's going to come the way of Ares. 1 second left. Best. They just locked Ares.
I guess some Wukong's going to be soloing. Ares will be locked,
my friend,
for support.
They're expecting Cognitive to draft Arachne. Now with that change to Ares, allowing him to destroy egg sacks with his number one, it's a big time counter pick.
Oh man, that is absolutely crazy.
And we're expecting Ares solo here.
No.
Yeah.
I don't expect
Sun
anything.
Wukong is not a god that Anatoly excels with. I will expect Ares going up against Tyr in the solo lane for this matchup. It stops Fearless. Does a tremendous amount of damage.
Well,
and
final options, Geb. Final options, Geb. Okay, so we're in the trading phase. Let's see what happens.
I'm telling you, man.
Anatoly has Ares.
It's going to Toly. Yeah. Toly's playing Ares. We're president now, y'all.
This is cool. This is cool. Omega's going to have a weird spot to be in, especially early game. Consider Nemesis has a huge slow. Ares has a very long cripple. Very, very long. That can last the entirety of Omega's lifespan. Honestly, if they rush into either that or onto Hunbots, they can just shut down their escape and go for a very early kill. Something that Ares might not need, but they need to send at least one person back to the base. Otherwise, Ares in the mid game is just going to accomplish nothing.
I think I'm just going to squelch expats for like 10 minutes in chat just to troll. He wants all caps. Real bad. But, I mean, this team from Dignitas is unwieldy, to say the least. Now, they do have the Ares-Poseidon wombo combo, which on paper works 100% of the time, but in practice works about 1% of the time.
Maybe.
The best news for them here is that they have drafted Nemesis, I feel like. They have a very heavily physical damage-oriented team between the Sun Wukong Uller Nemesis in terms of the kind of duo and jungler triumvirate. And so Nemesis can zap a lot of that protection and get in there and deal the damage. But the Ares draft seems a little forced. I mean, they needed a magical damager on the team, and they'll pick it up in the way of the solo lane. So interestingly enough,
there are definitely still options available, and I'm surprised to see him go into this. Now, I know that we've seen him do this on streams and in ranked, and sometimes even in scrims, but this is definitely new to tournament, at least in the later stages. This is the first time that he's going to be doing this when there's money on the line, which makes it very surprising that he's willing to bet so much when there are so many marbles right now in front of him up for grabs.
Well, we'll see what Dignitas can do with 3 Chains and the Ninja going up against Cognitive with their Robot and their Pirate. It's a tough matchup. But we'll see how it all shakes out, guys. Game 1 of the finals coming to you next. live. My name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me, DM Brandon. Dignitas versus Cog. Don't go anywhere. It'll start in just a few moments. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 1 of the Grand Finals. Team Dignitas versus Cognitive Gaming. Cog won last week. Dignitas still the number 1 seed overall with their 2 first-place finishes. We are here in week 4. We are underway. Dignitas once again roaming as 5. We'll introduce them quickly. They are the blue team, left side of your minimap, bottom side of your minimap, left side of your spectator UI, actually. And it's Shadow Q, Zapman in the dual lane as Wukong and Uller. Anatoly will be your solo lane, Ares. Last side of the jungle with Nemesis. And the best will be Poseidon in the mid lane. But they're going to fight Jeff Hindla here. And if this chain hits, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. They will. It's going to take him out a rollout into the whirlpool. Double cripple.
Rip.
He's going to be able to get out. Rip. RIP to the robot. Jeff Hindla goes down for a first blood. A little bit too greedy, too aggressive by Dignitas. And they blow up the support for their opponents, Cognitive Gaming, who are the red Chaos team from the top side of your minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. Jeff Hindla and Barracuda will be combining for that dual lane of Neath and the one Death Geb. MLC Stealth in the mid lane is Ra. Omega will be solo tier, and Andy in the jungle as Hunbots.
Last week's performance by Cognitive was incredibly dominant. They shut down Lassus early. In both games that they played, it was a clean 2-0. Neither Freya nor Loki were able to really do much to the point where they were pushed out, or rather each god, respectively, in each game was pushed out to the point where Lassus really couldn't contribute a lot. In Game 2, Lassus started to get his footing back in the later stages of the game, but at that point, the damage had already been done. This time, we're seeing Dignitas get aggressive, push for those early... What you doing there, Omega? Goes in, hands it, he steals it, but he's going to be the just suffering.
Take a lot of damage from chains. All 3 of them are going to hit. Auto attacks coming through. Not enough damage to kill that, but I also want to point out Anatoly with the mark of the man guard here.
Yeah, an item we have not seen in a very long time.
Oh, blue buff invade left side. It is going to take a reset. Zapman finds the stun on Okuda. A lot of damage. 1, 2, 3. Nope, missing one there is Zapman. He could have gotten the kill, but he would have required 100% accuracy. They'll leave the buff Ogre standing in the pit there, and we'll see that contested a bit later.
So right now, this is going to be major, major trouble for Barra. Oh, but Jeff Hindla also in some trouble here. Level 2, taking a lot of damage. Going to have that rollout. Hell of arrows will actually find his target. As finally Omega returns to the right lane, you're going to see he is level 2 right now, the same as both Anatoly and Lassus. But those chains, man, if either one of them gets caught, it's going to spell death. That's why you see them both hanging out at the tower line.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they can't extend at all and get hit by chains. It's just going to be too much. The slow on top of that by Nemesis. Yeah, you're pretty much locked in place. And then given this early start from Dignitas on the left side duo lane, they're going to be forcing Jeff Hindla and Barracuda underneath the tower, finding some chip damage as well.
All right, so pushing forward 1-0 right now, 90 seconds into the game. We have a 700 gold lead roughly for Dignitas, as a lot of gold is being wasted in the mid lane. The best not really able to keep Ra from losing experiences. You see him pushing consistently using both the Whirlpool and the Tidal Surge combination. Now we're seeing a rotation coming in on the left side. Check these two out. They're going for the blue buff once again. Hand of the Gods will secure it, and poor Barracuda again will lose his opportunity to pick up his own buff.
Oh, Stealth's going to get stunned out. He's in his heal, however. Going to find a lot of healing, but maybe not enough. You're going to need one more spell from Zapman to hit. He's going to leap in. Auto attack 1, auto attack 2. Down goes Stealth. Now to Whirlpool and fighting. Barracuda cut off. Force some fall back to Jeff Hindla. One more Ryu Jingle Bang from Shadow Q is enough to secure that kill. And down goes the mid laner and the carry out of the dual lane. Red buff is up and likely to be contested by Dignitas relatively soon. And one stat I want to point out, DM, here before we trade off. Player damage on Zapman, 2,100 in 2 minutes.
I kind of wanted to point out the fact that there are people who think that Sun Wukong's one doesn't need to be nerfed.
What's wrong with 120 damage at level 2?
Yeah, from 90,000 feet away on a move that you couldn't miss if you tried, right? I'm very excited to see that move go down. And I know that you are too. Didn't at one point you say that you refused to play the god?
Yeah, I have 1 game played on Sun Wukong.
Why?
Because he's too strong, man.
I definitely don't disagree.
It's the same reason that I only have 1 master level on Apollo. I don't like to play the blood kids.
Oh,
I give them their time. I let them kind of work out. It's like a fine wine. See, now when I play Sun Wukong, I'll do it honestly, without 6 knockups and 12 minutes of disable.
See, I'm the other way around. I only play things that are broken.
That's right. See,
you know the rule. If it's not OP, it's not for me.
This guy.
Yeah. All right, so jumping into the mid lane, Andy with an overhand smash will find some, and I mean some damage onto Lassus, not very much. He has a teleport opportunity. He does take it, gets a nice crit there as well. Lassus will take some damage and fall back. Andy can continue his farming at this point, but still, Dignitas has a 3-0 lead at this point, which puts them up 1,200 gold and 1,300 experience, not even 4 minutes in.
And, well, Best here, he's, continuing to stall this mid lane and fighting scales a lot more aggressively than Ra does. Now, granted, Ra can be a much bigger factor in team fights, extended team fights, if Poseidon, especially if the Kraken comes out and doesn't find kills. Hitla, holding that thought, is in a bit of trouble in the left side lane, and they take a lot of harass damage just over and over and over again. Dignitas seems to have the big advantage here.
All right, so here we go. Over on... Oh, I really thought that they were going to get aggressive here. They did not. Left side, I really expected Barra to move forward and try to find an opportunity to get Zapman, who's sitting at half health, but I think just Shadowcue being in lane is deterring this. Barracuda right now has hit level 5, but Zapman is already level 6 wave to wave, which means he can split this experience safely with Shadowcue and maintain his lead. And Shadowcue's doing just that, ensuring that he's able to keep himself not only in the game, but ahead of Jeff Himla at all points, who is now a level behind.
And it's totally in the solo lane, hasn't died yet to Tyr. That's saying a lot, I feel like. I mean, Ares does not have a lot of utility to deal with a god like Tyr. If he's not getting the upper hand in terms of aggression, it's going to be difficult for him to really, stay in this lane safely. Even with this mark of the Vanguard, I mean, you can tell what he wants to do is get those chains. It takes a long time for that damage to really come out, so he's going to have to take some minion damage. He wants to go for efficient trades against Omega here. Lassus could be in trouble. They're going to go and throw an ultimate out onto the Tyr. Bot's coming in, but Ares' ultimate on reaction, very clever. Neath ultimate coming as well. Totally could be in some trouble. Blown up is Anister. He may feel a little bit foolish there.
Oh my god, the reaction time to the satellite was perfect. Anatoly undeterred and actually finds himself a great opportunity. Andy, like you said, I mean, he's got to be thinking to himself, wow, I did not expect that to happen in that way. And maybe we're seeing the future here. Ares is powerful.
Yeah, he is. Best. Mid lane looked like it was going to get a little chippy there. But we do have a replay for you guys here. Coming up right now, let's take a look at some action around the map here. Is the result of that kill. So obviously, Toli here is just going to say, all right, well, we both have ultimates and you don't have beads. So then they're just going to make sure someone stays under tower with that cripple, and very, very effective. Another thing to note about this matchup, DM, that we didn't really cover is that Ares, while using his Flame Shield, Searing Flesh, I believe it's called, is into knockbacks, which means that Tyr can knock out the Fearless combo. Something that I definitely neglected. He's got a lot of options, actually. So
he can stop the Fearless, and then he can prevent the Fearless from affecting him. Those are two really, really important notes. It actually, now that we're thinking about it, it does really seem like Ares is the perfect counter. The issue here is that Ares doesn't have the wave clear, but so far Anatoly has done a great job of keeping them off with his Hand of the Gods, that 1 minute cooldown, keeping himself in line with Tyr. Not to mention we've seen Lassus rotate around a lot as well to ensure that he's being helped out. But Anatoly right now with Ares has Tyr locked underneath his tower.
Yes, he does.
That's something.
Levels are even, however. So no big advantage right now. However, you got to feel like, Tyr, where is Ares going to fit into the mid game?
Look at, are you watching this part? He uses the Hand of the Gods, throws the shackles out, it misses. Omegatron puts himself in position for the Fearless. Immediately the flames come out, and Omega's just like, I guess I'll walk away.
Yeah, there's not much he can do about that, but my biggest concern here is what Ares is going to be able to do in the mid game. I mean, once the mass beads start coming out, I guess he's in Solo Island. I guess that's the good part about it, right? Is that he's going to have a lot of time to farm up and find utility items. Shadowcue in the mid lane, someone calling in some trouble. Gamble used as well. Kraken going to come out. That's doing a lot of damage. Omega's going to fall here as Lassus rotates in with the ultimate to zap the protection, making that burst a little bit more powerful. And they get a 1-for-1 trade. It's a support for a solo laner. Definitely worth.
I think right now Poseidon is likely the strongest mage and subsequently the most underrated god in the game. I mean, people consistently think, I can take the Kraken damage and I can live through it. Or they think to themselves, I can walk near Poseidon into this whirlpool and find a way to kill him. Or they think, hey, I think I'm fast enough to chase down this Poseidon and not get baited into the enemy team. And none of those things ever actually apply. Even when Poseidon's behind, that Kraken can do half your health instantaneously.
Jeff
you
Himla,
have to respect him.
Right side, DM. I mean, covering this lane to force the Ares not to push you.
This is not something I expected coming into today. Oh, what in the world?
Hey, why not?
He gets a pull-off. Omega's here. He got double cripple off, and now he's actually kind of die. All right, Omega's finally found himself an opportunity, but look at the damage reduction. Anatoly's not deterred whatsoever.
Last.
Yep. Oh, and then here comes Lassus. Jeff's
The
in
knock-up
trouble.
big. The knock-up's big there. They find the slow, but they can't dive the tower. Lassus does not have any defensive items at this point, and with the shield rework, he's just not going to be resilient enough to go in. But that knock-up by Geb literally saved his life.
Yeah. Andy rotates in here. He's looking for an opportunity. Does he have his ultimate available to him? He's going to go in. Lassus uses beads, jumps away immediately. Blink in. Whirlweaver's going to be in some trouble. He's trying to aim it onto Anatoly. Will he find it? He does it, and Lassus goes down on top of Anatoly's death as well. Omega trying to escape here, takes a tower shot, and will get out 5-3. Hog's trying to make a comeback, but the Best is not going to let it happen for free.
Best will go into tower here. I think like Shadow Q will just ult in and use the decoy to tank it, but no, with the rotation from stealth, not enough to go for that. In the meantime, let's take a look at where the action is going down in the left side lane, where it's Kuda and Zatman having a bit of a boxing match here, and no one really seeming to come out ahead just yet, but you got to fear for Neith's life. Anytime she gets under, about 75%, there's the opportunity there for Burst from Ullr to take her down.
Yep, does not have Blink there, so didn't have the push opportunity. Barracuda right now is actually completely out of mana and will take a trip back to the base. Mid-camp on left side. Looks like it's going to be going to the Cog Boys. Right side, I'm pretty sure went to Dignitas as well. So we still see a lead maintained by Dig. 1,200 closer to 1,300 gold and 1,200 experience. So the farm, despite the kills, is staying pretty close. The gold's starting to peer away. You are seeing a lot of beads being picked up onto Dignitas. Of course, they have to find a way to be able to deal with the monkey. Fear no evil is a huge, huge play, especially on top of the fact that they have the Fearless for extra pushes. Barracuda has the Whirlweaver for stuns inside fights, and then, of course, the ever-present Cataclysm.
So we don't really have a great understanding of what Anatoly is going to be going for. It looks like it's going to be a mystical male here with this Mark of the Vanguard. So very, very resilient against creeps. Very, very good at sustained, unbreakable pushes, which Harry seems like a good candidate for. Chain him up and see what we can get. Left side lane, we do have a rotation to the side. Kraken finds a kill onto Jeff Hindla. They're keeping Geb pretty far down. Already 2 kills onto Jeff there. And he's falling 2 levels behind Shadow Q at this point with his Midas boots. There's a Hoodbot's ultimate as well. Zatman taking a lot of damage. No chance to switch stances and move into his next phase here. Try to get that leap out. Shadow Q forced the ultimate as a Whirlweaver came through doing some damage to him. They're now going to try to turn it on the stealth with the Nemesis ultimate active. It's going to be enough. Barracuda now the one in some trouble as well. Can Lassus close his distance again? It's not going to have the cooldowns. 1 auto attack. It's going to take another. Yes. There it is. Double kill for Lassus. Backside. Anister continuing to harass. Finds 1 more kill there on to the Poseidon.
Nice
and
job.
actually disjoints that dancing blade there. So well played. Anister will survive while finding a couple kills for himself.
Right side, Anatoly heads back after the tower takes a fairly serious amount of damage, sitting under 20% right now, getting dangerously close to 10%, meaning the next push that Anatoly makes to that tower could result in its death. You can see that they're 1,100 gold ahead right now. That can increase by 500 gold, but they need to keep their farm up. And we're seeing Anister on the top here doing the red buff immediately. Bottom side, it looks like Lassus was able to take that before Jeff Hindla came in and just barely escaped with his life.
Yeah, just barely at that. You're right. So, Mystical Male Ares completed, ready to roll. He's got his blink. He's forcing out beads from the whole team. Omega, however, will be forced to use Fearless anytime he's hit by that no escape.
Yeah.
As noted, I mean, tiers basically have to build into Hand of the Gods and Blink of the Soul Lane.
So, Mystical Male coming out on top of Mark of the Vanguard. That's so much damage reduction in this lane. Given the fact that that's double physical coming at him, you see Mark of the Vanguard giving him 5 of each protection, 100 health, and all damage reduced by 5. And then Mystical Male giving him 60 protections and 300 health. Look at the damage that Omega's taking right here. He just took
So much.
60% of his health, 70% of his health from Ares. And then healed it all back up because it's tier.
Yeah, it's just getting hurt. Oh, there's a no escape coming out, DM.
Lawbringer.
Yeah, he's forced the Lawbringer.
If I was Omega...
Oh, Jeff Hindla in some trouble. Left side lane going to go down to Zatman and Shadow Q there. He tried to go for the ultimate, but just wasn't in time.
Whirlweaver going to come in as Andy rotates. Lassus is here as well. They're going to turn their sights to Last. A lot of ultimates coming through. Last trying to keep himself up, and he will. Andy gets turned on, taking the Divine Judgment right there on top of a few other hits. Shadow Q's looking to die, but I don't think he's going to go for it. He is deterred. He's facing the other direction, and both Andy and Lassus will both somehow escape with their lives once again.
Yeah, they'll do their best, at least. In the meantime, Anatoly finds himself a tower. Zatman
Omega rotated in. He
He
missed the Fearless. Kraken's going to do end damage to stealth there. Now they're looking for a Tidal Surge. Going to hit too. Jumping away. Zatman trying to find some distance. apart.
Looks like he's going to make it out, at least for now, as in some trouble now, as the Fearless Chain does miss, taking the burst as Omega, but he looks like he'll be able to disengage. Barracuda continues to do damage here. Zapman will fall as well during this engagement, DM.
So all the gods disappeared off my screen.
Get all your gods of spirit. It's okay. I just crashed out as well there for a minute, so I'm syncing back up. But I'll cast it off of the program feed here, guys, as Anatoly's in a little bit of trouble. And maybe he's about a second behind, but we'll do what we can. The crit's coming in as well. He's trying to disengage here. Mystical Mail doing a lot of damage, actually, as he continues to juke. That teleport not going to bounce to him, and continuing right along as Anatoly now with the recall. So good on him. And speaking of good on them, Cognitive Gaming doing pretty well for themselves here. They've stopped the bleeding, at least for now. They did have a lot of trouble in the dual lane earlier on, but it seems to be a bit better, at least at this point. Let's see here if I can sync up to where we should be. As now it's Lassus in a bit of trouble, it appears, as he's going to be forced into a death there, actually, unable to disengage, so unfortunate for Team Dignitas. I should be relatively synced up now, guys. I hope that this works out for you as well as it is for me. Over in the right side lane, where Anatoly and Omega are going to have another go at each other. There's going to be some chains coming out, but nothing too serious going to be going on as this fight does not look like it's going to rage on for too much longer. Blue buff being contested yet again. Jeff Pinla being set up by Shadowq. Zapman, I don't think he can close the distance, but they did force Barracuda back as well. So it's a it's you know, around the map right now for Team Dignitas. I feel like they're finding some damage, but they're not finding a lot of objectives on the back of these pushes that they're putting out, and they're going to try their hand at their first objective now in the Gold Fury, but it's already been spotted out by Cog.
So something to note here is that Anatoly, of course, is Ares, can build aura items to increase his damage. Now, this is really going to be beneficial for him in the Void's Tone department, because not only is he going to make himself more powerful and more defensive, but he makes the best more powerful as a result. And given the fact that the best has been controlling a lot of this game so far, I think that's going to really benefit the team.
So, they do have a kill already coming out. Anister and Barracuda do get picked up with that no escape from Ares. Gold Fury continues to rage on. Zapman playing so aggressive here. Barely misses the Searing Pain. Percent damage from Geb, not too much as he was so low. But in comes Omega, endlessly stealth, taking a lot of damage as he tries to disengage. Gold Fury does go the way of Dignitas as well. Now the ultimate coming out on Omega. Anatoly trying to kite best he can. There's the Whirlpool. Cannot dash back out. Can Omega, and a deicide for the boys in blue. Team Dignitas takes a Gold Fury and 5 kills off the board.
I'm just so impressed at the way that Anatoly's been playing this. I can't tell if this is an actual counter matchup or if Omegatron is just so unfamiliar with what he's supposed to be doing that he doesn't understand how to fight it. I mean, does he have options, or has Anatoly actually covered every scenario here?
I mean, he's pretty much too tanky to kill reliably now. Does have his pen boots running. And, like, what if he goes into Spear of the Magic?
That could be a lot of damage, though it wouldn't be an aura item. I don't know if he's going to want to veer into that just yet. He does want CDR to force out more ultimates, possibly more shackles, keep himself immune to knockback for as long as possible as well. Aura items, of course, going to increase his damage and the effectiveness of the team overall, but Spear of the Magus would increase his penetration massively.
And it increases the penetration for the rest of the team as well, as Totally finds the triple root, and Geb just seems to be wrecked by this Ares.
So, right now, we're getting closer to about 17:30 into the game, and Dignitas has just completely controlled every part of this game so far. And really, I mean, that's largely in part due to Anatoly. I mean, Shadowq's rotations have been good, but he's been found victim a lot. Anatoly has just been perfect throughout this game. I mean, you take a look at his score. I mean, he has 1 death so far, and he's just been pressuring every single part of every lane. I mean, he's never sitting in one place. And usually we see Anatoly to be the guy that's just sitting around in solo lane farming. And this has been...
side tower, G. Let's hold that thought for a second as MLC Stealth does pick up Lassus now as they dive the towers. That man going to fall as well. Shadowq tried to stay relevant, but he's going to die here too. The forever slow from Ra into your World Weaver ultimate, going to keep him there. Double kill for Andy in the meantime, however. Tyr takes another spill in the mid lane to Ares and Poseidon.
Now this is just trouble. I mean, they're letting the best get too far ahead. I mean, overall, I mean, I wonder how much damage the Kraken alone has done at this point, because they're finding a lot of kills here. I mean, honestly, we've seen COG win fights. I mean, they just had the three-person swing, trading out Omega in the process. They have the opportunity and, you know, the potential to still win this game, but they have to form up. They have to stop falling into these little traps, mainly orchestrated by the best whirlpools. I mean, the whirlpool is just forcing them into the worst situations imaginable.
So it looks like Fire's attempt for Dignitas here. Are we even still live? As I see everything crashing everywhere. Okay, so it looks like a little blip in the Twitch side, guys, or in the streaming software, but the Fire Giant attempt not going to go through there. We're looking at 19 minutes, 40 seconds, 41, 42 in game now, as on the right side, Omega and Lassus are having a little bit of a spat with each other, but no Fire Giant attempt going to go through for Team Dignitas.
I mean, well, it's open 20 minutes in. Gold Fury's down for at least another minute or so. The mid camps are respawning, and you can see the groupings are starting to happen. Barracuda, though, alone on the left side. Looks like he's going to grab that one.
Yep, there it is. And the ultimate coming up from Nemesis. Chains are going to miss, so Jeff Hinla should be okay for the moment, at least. That's a Sun Wukong ultimate blown just to disengage. Kraken coming out, great positioning. Barracuda in some trouble. Now going to take the shotgun Trident. There is the Searing Flesh as well. It's starting to chunk through the higher HP targets like Stealth. And he's to be forced out to using his ultimate as well, once again, to avoid that no retreat from Ares. But Omega has nice positioning here. Going to change CC Ares on Anatoly, but is that the right play here? They're not going to be able to bring him down. No way. He's just too resilient. Shadow Q now, the only target left in harm's way, and he's
teleport.
Going to ult right out.
Oh, man. Andy teleported in there looking for the kill onto Last. Last jumps away, and it's going to give him an opportunity to fight once again. Shadow Q out of position, but with the tankiness, he doesn't really need to worry about it. He oxes through, finds one, but still, 5 members of Dignitas are sitting inside of a heal, or rather Cognitive, sitting inside of a heal, forcing Cog back. But a nice whirlpool from the best, covering the entirety of the raw heal, forces them away from their sustain, but they're still barreling down the lane.
Yeah, and it's a 4v5 as Nemesis is jungling for the moment. For whatever reason, their last is going to try to soak up a little bit of XP. They think that they can hold this without him, it appears. So I hear you guys saying I'm a couple seconds ahead, so I'll go ahead and wait that out. As now the hail of arrow is going to hit. Cognitive still trying to find a way to break this tier 1 tower. They don't have a tower off the map yet. Dignitas has 2 to their name already.
Right, but I mean, it's a scant 1,000 gold. The kills and the overall pushes have what mattered the most. You can see 19 to 13 right now is the reason that they're going to be 3,600 deep. Anatoly just not in position there to stop it. Zatman is going to force the beads and jump out. The beads might not do enough there as he is forced completely out of it. Zatman has no mana whatsoever. Don't expect him to rejoin this fight as Andy just starts to just barrel down, pushing. He got 2 kills, couldn't find the third. He was chasing down the tank, and I was wrong. Zatman did come in and with proper spacing and great teamwork coming out from last as they were at least able to pick one person up thanks to the major over-aggression coming out from Andy. And now, surprisingly, we're seeing COG back off of a free tier 2.
Yeah, they take the tier 1 and a good trade. They're going to try to make a play at the Gold Fury. Trying to add some maybe experience to the team here with this Gold Fury pickup, but it's not going to be fast enough because Sun Wukong is very mobile. One of the reasons why he is so good. So yeah, he's going to be able to keep them off of that Gold Fury for at least the moment here, it looks like, as Jeff Hinla and Omega are trying to figure out exactly where they're going to go. There's a cat stun. Last is throwing out the slow onto Jeff as well. Omega is considering re-engaging as the rest of the teams kind of come back together. They're going to group up and maybe look to take a fight. Satman just doesn't fear humans as he's going to try to fight this tower here. Even though the entire team is there, misses his axe stun, but doesn't matter. He's going to be able to disengage. Willweaver coming through into Searing Flesh. Or Searing Pain, I'm sorry, not Searing Flesh, that would be Ares' ability. And Zatman disengages. A-okay.
I mean, smart play right there. It's enabling them to maybe contest the Gold Fury a little bit more by forcing them into situations where they have to play defensively. At this point, if I was COG, I think I would just let that tower go, fight for an objective that matters. 500 gold in the long run is not going to matter too much.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. Left tower being contested now. I'm sorry, right tower for the Chaos side. Starting to take some damage. Mid tower just ready to go down anytime someone wants to go over there and sneeze on it. And, you know, a little more gold going the way of Team Dignitas. And look at Best, man. Best, one of the only players that builds Jump of Isolation consistently still on the side. Oh! The chain hits on the Anister. They're going to find another cripple with the Whirlpool. That's a lot of damage onto the Monkey for some very, very short cooldown abilities now. And as long as they don't get flanked really heavily by tier, this looks like a pretty good opportunity for Dignitas to take a Gold Fury, and indeed they will, as that man's already started on it for some time now, and down it goes. No response from Cog. Now chained up is the Geb, which means that he cannot roll out. He's going to use his shield, try to buy himself some time. Still rotating is the tier. Lassus and Best may see him. Andy forced to use beads. There's the no escape. Not going to work. Best in a lot of trouble here. A just out underneath. That's someone called Ultimate Kraken's going to come out, knock up Anister. Still going to go down to Barracuda, however, is the Best. In the meantime, there's an ultimate used by Lassus onto Barracuda. It looks like there, but I don't think Dignitas continue to engage. They got to find a way out. They have really no more cooldowns. Anatoly going to try to take the front line here, but he is just not that resilient with all four of them bearing down on him and only resistance the physical. Zapman trying to find Andy, is going to find him, but will go down himself to Barracuda. MLC Stealth in a bit of trouble as Lassus continues on him, but they're going to turn around on him with a lot of chain CC, and he's not going to be able to take out Stealth in time. Cognitive wins the fight handily.
Yeah, I mean, Barracuda found the double there, and, you know, 3 to 1. Andy is going to be down for a long time. He is level 20, but this could be their opportunity to at least beat the Fire Giant. Keep in mind, Sun Wukong doesn't have a lot of damage at this point, and while Ares does have a lot of damage, it is single target damage that, if interrupted, will be completely shut down. At this point, with the sustainability coming out from MLC Stealth, they really shouldn't have too much trouble here.
Probably not. Sun Wukong already in position, however. Is his hog down? Did he try? He didn't try to contest the Gold Fury, but they did use. Oh no, they did. They used the hog to secure it, but has it been 60 seconds? I want to say it's back up. I want to say he has hog 3 back up. TR going to control him, but they're not doing a lot of damage here, so Fearless maybe wasted opportunity. Keep Shadowq out of this fight. Anatoly's there. He wants to blink in, I'm sure, and use his ultimate here to try to stop them from getting this uncontested, but Dignitas doesn't look like they're ready to commit yet. Anatoly getting
Here comes
position.
the Best, though.
And yeah, they're gonna force the reset for Cog.
Yeah, they just did not commit to one idea or another. Barracuda going to try to gain some of his health back here, not to mention drop some extra experience for the team, as Blue Buff will drop to the ground. All 5 members of Dignitas are up and grouped up. All 5 members of Cognitive are up and grouped up, though it looks like Omega's kind of trailing behind.
Yeah, there's the sneeze coming out. So it looks like we're still maybe a bit ahead here of the cast, so I'll pause for a second there. Looks like I'm synced up now, guys, so we'll go ahead and continue on. Sorry about that. We did have some issues with some client crashing here, so but we'll do the best we can. Omega, Magi's wasn't used there in the cripple. Not going to continue on through the next patch, but able to dash out of their AOK because of his Magi's. And yeah, I mean, it's disengaged and no one really willing to take a fight at the moment, at least. But worth mentioning, MLC Stealth has finished his mail.
That's right. This is one of his favorite items of the game. It's going to give him a little bit of cooldown reduction, bringing him up to 25% total with those Shoes of the Magi, or rather Shoes of Focus. Keep in mind, he also gains 40 physical protection, 300 health, and then the innate ability to gain health back after a kill is gained, which is going to make him very tanky. And of course, it's going to encourage his team to be much more aggressive, getting as many kills early, wasting as many abilities as possible early to ensure that MLC Stealth can keep that health pool rolling. Now, it should also be noted that this does not stack. It will reset. So it needs to be... They need to be careful about where they're getting aggressive, but honestly, we should see a much faster-paced game in the next engagement.
So, Zapman, able to pressure the tier 2 on the left side and fall back without getting ganked. The sentry ward blown as well by Hunbots just off the side of the lane to make sure that he was going to try to gank Zapman, and Zapman reacted, I think, just kind of serendipitously and fell back. Maybe this ward off the red camp spotted out Anister. But Andy uses a sentry there to see if he's going to be able to get a gank here. And
oh, wait,
Andy's
like
chasing. Close the distance.
No,
he's not going to be able to make it. He doesn't have the sprint, so he just can't catch the Uller with his speed steroid.
Yeah, I mean, that Invigorate it's so strong. I mean, even if it's level 1, it's 20% movement speed, given the fact that he's level 20, but he is in there. Zapman's going to be forced to beads there. They're boxing it out. It's close, but Anditzer finds way too much damage thanks to that passive and the fact that Deathbringer is already online. That's going to force them to go back. This is going to be really, really strong here. The next engagement at the Fire Giant is going to be very hard for Dignitas.
Yep, and it looks like we are going to show that kill here, guys. There's the replay coming back up. Sorry, we did miss that one. There it is going down, but moving back into the game here now. Once again, it's the Fire Giant. It's the one that's going to be who is able to contest this effectively.
All right, so they're starting it up here. You can see that Dignitas does have a major grouping, and keep in mind, if they stack up, I don't like where MLC Stealth and Barracuda are standing together. A Whirlpool will spell disaster for them, but it looks like they're going to try to get this in there. Anatoly has Fist of the Gods, not hand 3. Keep that in mind. They didn't get it low enough to warrant this push. 2 chains coming out, one onto Barracuda, one onto Jeff Hinlet. Looks both of them are getting... Actually, only one of them gets pushed. Beats was available, and damage coming out majorly for Anatoly. Oh my god, they took it away.
Dig takes it away, Kraken as well. Kraken may have actually secured that there. as everyone was knocked up. Anderson now going to try to fight this one out for his team, but chain slowed by the Nemesis. Can they find him in the backlines as the overhead smash is coming out? Anatoly, why are you fighting him? You cannot do much there, buddy, but they still end up getting the kill on Anderson, a very important target. Omega taking a lot of return damage from Lassus now. He's actually fearless is into a wall. Now the slow, and Omega's going to take a spill here as well. The second deicide of the game for Team Dignitas. Cognitive continues to fall. They'll take 2, maybe 3 towers on the back of this.
And that power cleave into the Retribution shield was heartbreaking. That was supposed to heal him, and instead did a ton of damage and healed his enemy. Omega cannot be happy about the way that this game is going. He can't find proper shots to save his life, and it's not of anything to do with his fault. He's just getting counterplayed in every situation. It's just he doesn't seem to have the options available to him when he needs them. And I think, Ares answered a lot of that.
And now he's going to solo the gold.
He's going to do this alone. I mean, why not? I mean, look at what he's built so far.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, no, there's really, he has, it's going to be very easy for him to take.
He doesn't even need this.
It's got to be frustrating as Cog.
I think he's going to build a 400 pot.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he already has the gold for the Deathbringer. He'll go back and buy Deathbringer, have like 400 gold left.
No, he'll sell off the Death Soul and pick up Titan thing too, probably. If he has the gold for it.
I don't think he has enough of that. That's 1450. I mean, at most right now, he's looking at 900, maybe 1,000. Nope, buys some wards, buys a potion, and it looks like he's going to run back into it. But that Deathbringer is online. Rage is on as well. You can see Draining Blade level 2. Heartseeker should be at least very close to fully stacked at this point. And then, of course, Warrior Tabby. But he is 5'6". Despite that, 14,600 puts him higher than anyone else in the game. As we see the ultimate come out from Hunbots, he's going to have to use it defensively. Anatoly not in a great spot there. Omega, he realizes that he can't take that bubble off without wasting his abilities. Fist of the Gods comes off to stop Anatoly, and now they're just pushing forward on the left side.
And yeah, they're gonna do what they can here to hold them out, Will Cog. But with the Fire Giant buff still active on Sato Q and on Lassus, Lassus is actually getting a lot of damage out of this. Even though he's got a lot of hybrid items here, Chinside's really the full offensive item that he has than a couple of hybrid ones. That Fire Giant buff gives him quite a bit more physical damage. Omega actually misses his Fearless Chain. Now going to be in some trouble as the chains come out. Going to be forced to Fearless out of this fight. In the meantime, don't lose track of Zatman in the mid lane. Going to be split pushing a bit. Shadow Q trying to stay in the front lines and zone out Anderson, make sure that he can't get into too much damage. And now joining the fight is Zatman after pushing up the mid lane there. So in goes Toli, though. He's going to find a big fist, in fact, as on top of the chains. And that's going to set up a Kraken. But, oh, man, that crit. 490 damage onto Anderson the minute he engaged. There comes a decoy out for Shadow Q. It's going to go in. It's going to tank the Titan. Now they're going to take the mid Phoenix as well as left goes down. DM and Dignitas is got a pretty good opportunity here to win this game. Oh, especially if they can find a pick on the Andy here. He's going to try to get some return kills. Not going to be enough just yet. Those crits aren't big enough onto Shadow Q. Shadow Q going to try to peel for Lassus. Moving back now, going to Oxmore back through Omega. Going to be forced to ult to pursue this, and he's going to go for it. Shadow Q may go down here if they can keep him CC'd. It looks like they will, so they'll take out the tank, but with no major objectives up, that's not that big of a kill.
Yeah, I don't understand why they keep going for Shadow Q, because what happens here is either A, you get the kill, and then it amounts to nothing, or B, he jukes you for 45 minutes, and it amounts to nothing. I mean, so far, every time Shadow Q has died, it hasn't resulted in a major push unless they've gotten more kills. Now, with the best being out of mana and Lassus not having the damage to fight off 4 people, I was very much expecting them to go in there. I mean, Cog really needs to push and find something, even if it involves a tower dive, but it looks like they're not being aggressive enough here. They have to answer back.
So they'll take a tower. Still 2 towers available in the left lane and 1 in the right lane for them to pick up some extra gold. Gold disparity sitting still about 10k. XP actually starting to trend a bit back towards Cog, luckily enough for them. A nice job of kind of stopping the bleeding and starting to bring it back in their direction. But a lot of that is because everyone's level 20 on Team Dignitas and still the level 16 for Jeff Hindla. So at the end of the day, it's still Dignitas' game in a big way here. The 2 Phoenixes are down. Fire Giant going to be respawning shortly, and they're already grouped up on this right side. They're going to push out this right side lane. They're going to pressure the Phoenix, and then if they find a kill, they're going to fall back and Fire Giant. And if they find 2 kills, they'll probably just win the game. So it's a tough situation for Cog, and they need Anderson to go big here. And they also need some choice crits for Barracuda. And totally going to blink it. He finds a change onto the Monkey. Monkey going to try to leap away and force out the ultimate there from the Hunbots. Good news for the boys in blue of Team Dignitas here. They force out a big cooldown. Beads and ultimates from Hunbots is down, which means that he's going to have to choose his initiation very carefully.
Well, they can group up here. and they can go for the Phoenix, or they can hold it down for a little while longer and move themselves down towards the Fire Giant. But keep in mind, guys, we have seen COG in much more dire straits than these, and this could be their opportunity to turn it back. You see Jeff getting ready to move forward here, looking for something, but blue team has taken that Fire Giant before a reaction could even be warranted. Barra's just trying to get himself out of danger here. He's going to be forced to use the beads. Omega stuck in between three, forced to Lawbringer out. Anatoly undeterred, pushing two away as Jeff finally gets the Cataclysm off, but not finding the damage or the positioning needed to really put himself in a situation where it's going to result in anything more than possibly an escape. But given the fact that Zatman's burning this down and the Lassus is lightning fast, I don't know what... Oh, no.
Best with a double kill. Lassus finds bots in the back line, and Cog's going to give that one up.
Yeah, that's probably the right call. I mean, why frustrate yourself? You know that one's going to go down. They have another game to do, but first game is going to go to Dignitas in a much different fashion than what we saw was happening last week.
Well, there we go, my friend. That was a pretty dominant performance there by Ares in the soul lane for Anatoly.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
I mean, if I see Ares banned, I think I'm done for the day.
That would really be something else.
I think I'll be done. Because now what do? Do you just not pick tier? You just forget that, like, did you just not pick tier? You can't just not pick tier.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's whew. Well, I mean, but Ares is effective, but it's tier could kill him. It's not like
we should have a party, Bart.
A party?
Yeah.
A chain party?
I was thinking maybe like a Smite party.
Oh yeah, it would be great to be in a Smite party.
Yeah, that would be awesome. We should be in a party together.
Just me and you and maybe like a production guy.
That would be so cool.
That would be great. I would like to see that.
That would be my perfect Sunday if it were Sunday. What would be your perfect Sunday? What would be yours, Bart?
Perfect Sunday?
Yeah. What's your perfect Sunday?
Like nuts, some fudge, maybe a cherry.
What kind of cherry? Like the plastic maraschino cherries?
Yeah, I like maraschino cherries on a Sunday.
I guess so.
Not even gonna lie.
I like banana splits.
Yeah, I don't really. If I'm eating ice cream, I basically just want ice cream. I usually am not that into the splits or the sundaes, to be honest with you.
I'm actually not eating ice cream. I am currently Diet Man Brandon.
Are those Izzy's good for you?
Oh, man. Guys, we're just setting everything up for game two. Of course, Dignitas just had an amazing push for their first time in 2 weeks. I mean, they were very dominant in the first 2 weeks of the tournament, but in week three, Cognitive was just a little bit too strong. I mean, they were unbelievable last week. That was the Cognitive that we saw through all of the qualifiers right in the beginning. But now, Dignitas has answered back, and they have done a great job in game one. Going into game two, I mean, Cognitive has relied either a lot on tier or banning tier or to counter tier. And now, are they going to let him through? Or are they going to ban him out? I mean, what are they going to do?
That's tough. I mean, it's a tough call. It really is. I mean, how do you handle the Ares pick being so effective against your tier? I mean, Omega was not even a factor in that game.
No, he was not. I mean, even when he was in a great position, by the time he actually got himself to actually do damage, the best was going to throw up, a giant Kraken, or he was crippled, or there was knockback immunity. It was just nuts.
Yeah, it looks like we will be moving in the game in just a moment. There we go. Okay. So sorry guys, we were dealing with a little bit of production issues there. Our clients had crashed, so we had to get it back in the parties. That's why you saw me kind of like staring off into nothingness there. But once again, we are into the picking and banning phase, ladies and gentlemen. On the left side is Dignitas, the right side is Cog, and we are getting underway, DM, as we're waiting for the first bans to come out.
I'm, again, very interested to see what they're going to do. It looks like Cognitive has opted for second pick here. At least that's what it tells me on the screen. First ban is going to be bots.
Yeah, the bots going down just like that. Dignitas doesn't want to deal with that. I mean, that game could have turned, right? I mean, bots could have found a couple more choice crits and taken out the best a couple more times in team fights. So just a little bit too risky, I think, to let him get through.
I mean, look what Andy just did, honestly. I mean, I personally think that he might even be either as good or better than Bastet in his current form. I mean, he's super strong, but once he's taken out, falls to the cat, which also falls out of the wayside. We're going to have option back in banning phase to Team Dignitas. I would say if they're not going to push for Poseidon, they should take either away Zeus or Scylla.
I think they ban Poseidon, pick Scylla. That's my guess. Ooh, zing. I'm good at that. Cog. Cog banned Scylla here. And they let through Odin, Zeus. And Uller, is my guess.
Wait. That's your guess. I thought you were somehow from the future.
No. My guess is that they will ban out. No, they're going to ban out Odin.
I
Yeah,
was
I mean,
going to say,
recognize
what a
it.
waste of time travel that would be if they sent you to the past.
Zeus.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Zeus going to be picked up and locked in for the first pick of Team Dignitas. The best finding two of his best gods game to game here. And you can see that graph team fight all the way up, carry all the way up. Everything else
Tier.
completely negated.
Well, Tier Aphrodite.
Here comes the Ares pick.
There's Tier Aphrodite. So that means that Tier's, but Tier will be in
Oh
the jungle.
wait, yeah, Tier's jungle.
So they'll give up someone called Uller lane again.
We're gonna see that Chang'e, Anatoly. I know that Omega.
I mean, he could
is
just
not
run
only-
Ares again.
He against Afro.
Why not? Divine Ruin, baby. Divine Ruin and Chains. GG. What are you going to do?
I mean, yeah, he can't be knocked back, so back off wouldn't.
Man, no back off
Deter him.
knockback. I mean, he would get his tower would go down in probably 7 minutes.
Well, no, he could kiss out the chains.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna see that. Scylla's gonna be grab maybe for solo. Ooh,
Sun
that could
Wukong.
be solo. That could be carry. That could be jungle. We haven't seen jungle Scylla in a long
As
time.
we've
I
learned
think it's
in
good.
recent games, Scylla can be played in a few roles.
Yeah, do support Scylla. Let's go.
Final pick for Cognitive here out of the first picking phase before they move on to the second banning phase of the game. Still needing a mid laner and a hunter as well as a support is Cog. My guess is that they draft their hunter here.
I would say just pick up Uller, maybe ban Neath.
Yeah, that would be the
Barra got a
conventional wisdom,
penta with him
I
today.
would
Like,
say.
pick him up.
Let's see what they do go with here. Maybe they take their mid laner. Wow.
Agni hovered on. MLC Stealth Agni about a quarter second away from getting a
Agni.
pentakill in tournament at PAX Prime. Going to be, I think, reprised here as we probably going to see him go into the mid lane.
Agni.
Ban phase number 2.
Are
What do you think
they-
we're going to see?
I think Lassus wants to draft Loki here.
You think so? I mean, Agni, Afro kind of shuts that down a little bit, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it would be very hard to find that kill. And Loki pretty bad against Aphrodite. Loki pretty bad at Smite as well. So it would be a risky pick. But I know that Dignitas really likes to draft that god against Agni in particular because he doesn't have to stop to fire the bombs.
Right, exactly. And if you put yourself in a bad situation, he can pick you up with a lot of damage without having to use Assassinate and then chase the dash with Assassinate. They're going to ban out Freya,
Okay.
which is a surprising pick to me, given the fact that we see Scylla on the board already, and we're going to see a Geb ban nod to Jeff Himla there. So option will go back to Cog.
So Cog going to be trying to find their first pick out of the second picking phase. Yeah, I mean, still need it's almost certainly an Uller pick here, right? I mean, it kind of has to be.
It's definitely expected, at least by me. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are wondering what this could be as well. Uller will be hovered on here, and it looks like he will be locked in.
Okay, so there it is. Uller locked in. 2 final picks for Team Dignitas here.
Yeah, I mean, you predicted it. Loki is hovered on.
They're gonna look at
Final
him.
pick as well. We're looking, if that's the jungler, this might be either solo or carry. We're not sure yet.
Well, they did their
Satman-
hunter.
Well, I
Unless
mean,
they
they
put
could
Scylla
do
there.
the allied Scylla pick.
I want to say I don't think that's going to happen. I want to say that it's going to be a solo lane pickup here.
You have no faith in Zatman.
Not on Scylla.
Final pick, only a few seconds remain here. Again, option maintains on Dignitas. Actually, we're going to see a switch to Neath there on the bottom, so no Loki pickup. And we're going to see, it looks like a reprisal of Nemesis.
Makes sense. I mean,
Nemesis.
does a lot of the same things that Loki does in terms of being good against Agni. You can
That's a
get
good
to
point.
him. You could dump some damage in while he's firing off his ultimates and then chase down the dash, and you have a pretty decent ultimate to fight him as well. Not quite as strong of an assassin 100 to 0 burst style, but a bit safer all in all. A little bit less all in. And the final pick for COG coming through, it's going to be their support most likely, unless they surprise us with an Aphrodite in the support role. Highest guess here is
Bacchus.
Bacchus.
Yeah, Jeff
maybe-
Himla. So that could be, Chalk going to be automatically locked in.
Shock.
Wow. Guan
Really
Yu
being
getting
favored.
ignored for another week.
Yeah, really being favored, man. Chuck really being favored as the go-to warrior support these days. Once Odin and Sun Wukong are off the board, interestingly enough, sitting fourth right behind Geb, it seems like.
I really am surprised that we're not seeing a lot of Hercules support, but I think, like we talked about before, next week, Herc support is, or even Herc solo or Herc jungle, he is going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Hercules will be a potentially moving into a first ban state, I would say, in maybe 2 weeks. Couple good weeks of showing. One good week of showing in EU, one good week of showing in NA. Next week, banned out. That's my prediction for Hercules moving forward into the new balance. However, DM, that does bring us into game number 2 of the Grand Finals, ladies and gentlemen. About 3 minutes away, we will be in game with Dignitas versus Cognitive. Game number 2, dig up 1-0. Can they take down this week as well? Cog did find a win over them last week.
That's
Find
right.
out in just a few minutes, guys. For DM, I'm Bart. We'll see you soon. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 2 of the finals. What could be your final game as Dignitas is up 1-0. Their opponents yet again, Cognitive Gaming, and once again, it will be the blue team for Dignitas, the red side for Cog. Let's introduce your teams. Fighting out of the bottom of the minimap, the order side, and wearing the blue trunks, it is Team Dignitas, Anatoly, Shadowq, Zapman, Lassus, and the best, and they look like they're going to be running in 5-man. No, it's a 4-man here, one behind in the Nemesis, but they won't find any CC, though, to try to find a kill, so it looks like that will be that for at least the moment. So we'll go ahead and go through their roles as well. Anatoly will be your solo lane Scylla. Shadowq and Zapman combining for the Sun Wukong Neath duo lane. Lassus in the jungle's Nemesis, and the best will be your mid lane Zeus. Their opponents wearing the red trunks from the Chaos side of the map, top side of your minimap, right side of your spectator UI. It is Cognitive Gaming, North America. Anister in the jungle. Barracuda will be combining up with Jeff Hindla for the Uller Chalk duo lane. It'll be Tyr in the solo for Andy. I'm sorry, in the jungle for Andy. Omega will be your solo lane Aphrodite, and Stealth in the mid lane as the twin-headed God of Fire, Agni.
So, again, right off the bat, Barracuda has opted into the Heartseeker Rush after Death's Toll. Actually, could also go into Transcendence. We're seeing the same thing come out from Zapman. Soul Reliquary come out from Anatoly here, which is likely going to be rushing into Book of Thoth. Overall, nothing too crazy otherwise. We're seeing Bumba's Mask come over from our red team here. That's going to be Andy on Tyr with the red pot start, hand 1, whereas Lassus has opted into hand 1 red pot, and then, of course, the Death Toll. A little bit less sustain, a lot more kill potential.
So, as things go out about the map, right side camp's going to Dig, left side going to Cog as Jeff Hindla is there. Barracuda already takes a considerable amount of damage from that blue camp that he soloed. Interesting strategy there from Cog.
Early game, not too much happening so far. No steals, no crazy invades. Not too much in terms of anyone being ahead of anyone else. Barracuda, though, getting a lot of damage onto Zap. Finds the stun, finds the jump. Backflip's going to be good, and a nice Ox is going to prevent Barracuda from chasing it down any farther. Zapman was one giant animal away from going down right there.
It was indeed, and in the solo lane, Anister takes quite a bit of damage for his trouble as well, but luckily it is an Aphrodite there paired up with them, and they will heal that right back. But Anatoly's going to be rushing down a Book of Thoth this game. So going for that big boy, Scylla.
Yeah, lots and lots of damage. That directly into a poly or directly into a rod can result in an insane amount of damage, something that Omega is going to be forced to react to. Now you see Omega's build, he's going to be into Uncommon Sash here. Oh, Anister taking a lot, could be in a lot of trouble here. Left side again, Zapman gets very low as well. They're trying to trade off this kill, it looks like.
Yeah, Hail of Arrows not doing much good for his health, actually forcing Zapman back already in this lane. Not even going to be able to purchase Morningstar rank 2, so it's going to be a delayed Heartseeker for him. Expect Ulu to continue to bully.
So, mid lane, MLC Stealth actually in a little bit of trouble as well. You can see him just barely over 300 health, proccing into level 4 there, whereas the best sitting very close to full is going to rotate over to speed to make sure it's checked out here, and then go back over. Not really sure what he's looking for as Lassus begins to return back over towards the solo lane, maybe putting himself out of position for farm here, which is not something we see Lassus do very often, but he rotates in and proccing into level 4 as Omega and Anister as well. I'm not sure if either one of them are going to try to make a play here.
It doesn't look like it. It looks like Cog is perfectly happy just to get the experience on the Anister. They're going to keep him in the lane here till at least level 4, maybe level 5 if he stays for another one. The back off there, putting Lassus out of distance now, and that shield pretty effective against the birds.
All right, so left lane looks like Zap has returned, but unfortunately is level 3 right now, comparatively to where Barracuda is standing, when I assume he's getting very, very close to level 5, given that wave. Hail of Arrows going to be shot in again, forcing the backflip again. Could be able to clear that wave off with the Spirit Arrow into the weave combo, but look at the damage Zap has taken. He has just gotten back here, and he's going to be only 1 creep now into level 4, whereas Bear is going to be very, very close to getting that Throne Axe combo into a critical mass situation.
Yeah, that Chalk Uller harass lane looking pretty strong, and Uh, and not often you say that when Sun Wukong and Neith are getting out-harassed in
Yeah,
a lane. That seems
Well,
unlikely.
Bera's like, what, perfect right now in terms of hail of arrows landing?
It looked
mean,
pretty gross, yeah.
It's not an easy skill to hit, and if it does hit, the scaling is outrageous. Right now, he's sitting on 25 damage, meaning that scales at 120%, so he's swinging about 29 extra damage on top. Retribution, or rather Divine Judgment goes off, forcing the Storm Call. Not really sure what they're looking for here, but Barracuda is going to have to escape. He's not full health, and is certainly very low on mana. He will be forced out.
Yeah, so the first ultimate from the jungler on the side of Dignitas not finding a kill. That being said, Tyr hasn't been too involved in any kills either for Andy, so all things told, it's pretty much dead even game. Small advantage in favor of COG to the tune of about 200 gold and about 500-600 experience, so nothing really to it just yet, as this one looks like it's off to a bit of a ponderous start.
Well, I mean, as the game goes on longer, you know Zeus is going to become much, much more troublesome. I mean, at this point, he's not supposed to be able to clear the wave against Agni, and so far, he's doing a damn good job of keeping him 1-1. He will miss a creep here overall, but I'm not sure he's too worried. Level 6 right now, close to 3,000 gold. He's doing a good job, but you can see MLC Stealth getting very close to 3,200 right now. He maintains top gold in the lead.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say that. I mean, shout-outs to Stealth here. Really, really nice play. I mean, this is not a favorable matchup for the Agni. At best, it's 6-4 Scylla. And he's doing very, very well here. In fact, leading. I'm sorry, versus Zeus. It's a favor Zeus matchup for sure, and he's leading it. So Stealth continues to show that he is one of the dominant, if not maybe the most versatile mid laners in the world right now.
Oh, Lassus just barely getting out of trouble there with the double dash. Annenster blinks over the wall, just barely misses the Fearless as the best rotates back in. MLC Stealth does have a fair experience lead. He's going to take one stack of that shot there, but not be too worried. It looks like the Flame Wave's going to be able to clear up. That stack will clear off, and now we're going to see a rotation over into the right lane. More than a rotation, an initiation. The Lawbringer will miss, though, and Lassus will be forced out.
But they're going to try to chase him down here. I don't think they have the speed, even with the link there, to go and find Lassus. But yeah,
Anatoly just let it go.
Oh, he wants it so bad, but he's going to get
Anatoly is
for
not
trouble.
worth it.
Oh, was it detonated at the right time? No, it was not. Annister still secures it. Annister finds the Fearless Chain now onto Lassus. MLC Stealth is rotated around. Lassus is going to die here to the Flame Wave dot. Bess is going to get stunned out. No more spells available, though. Chain Lightning going to hit. That's going to be a nice little amount of burst damage on the Stealth if he decides to detonate that. Looks like he won't. It's just going to be enough to hold them back. And so they will lose Lassus, though, for the first blood of the game. 5 minutes, 45 seconds in.
Did you see that MLC's actually dashed in the exact pathing that Lassus chose to, forcing him to double proc into that Path of Flames? That was a huge pickup, and slowing Nemesis down is going to hurt. Her clear early game is not very strong.
No, it certainly isn't. Not really what you pick Nemesis for, flash farming in the jungle. You definitely pick her for more of the ability to take out high tank targets. Best in a lot of trouble. He will fall here to MLC Stealth. And pretty scary to think that Agni's damage is getting buffed in the next patch. Of course, his survivability going down a bit, but his ability to land that stun. Stealth showing that maybe it was easy enough as is.
So now 6 minutes, 30 seconds deep. Annenster has been getting a little bit too aggressive here. He's put himself into a very unfavorable situation, but thanks to Blue Power Cleave and Blue Fearless, he has not only healed up, but gotten out of that dangerous situation as MLC Stealth now turns his sight into the right camp. It looks like he's going to be able to pick that one up for free, as Shadowq's going to try to rotate in and steal this away, but Hand of the Gods goes off, and now Shadow's not in a great position.
Yeah, not. This is not feeling like Dignitas is. They kind of got the Ares pick in the last game and were maybe feeling themselves and had a really good idea of what they were trying to do, but there wasn't. It doesn't seem to have that same kind of cohesion this game. They don't.
Oh, really Zatman on the left side forced the backflip, and he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Jumps way too far, and he will go down. Zatman, no trouble. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxies, following word for word, kept his towel, didn't panic, burned him down.
Yeah, I mean, he just took a knee. He just took a knee, sat there, channeled the ultimate, Tyr jumped in, and then he casually stunned him and picked him up with a couple auto attacks. Great play by Zatman, keeping his calm under pressure, as you mentioned.
I mean, and that's not an easy thing to do. I think that's one of the most important skills in high-level gaming, period, no matter what game you're playing in. That's keeping yourself calm in strenuous situations. And seeing a Tyr blink over when you're at low health, that's a rough life. He dodges the Fearless, backflips away, stuns him out, roots him in place after it, and just gets a few hits, and that's going to trade out. COG does lead 2-1, but, I mean, Dignitas did answer back and kept themselves in the game.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, it helps Zatman, continue on. He gets his Draining Blade going now. on the back of that kill. He's, relatively speaking, caught back up. Yeah, I mean, he's basically dead even in gold with Barracuda now. So, all things told, it's a favorable little moment there for Dignitas. Definitely keeping them, as you mentioned, right in the game. Gold advantage, a little bit over 1,500 in favor of COG. Experience basically even at just under 3K. So, still small advantages going the way of COG, as you mentioned, but no Gold Furies taken yet. And that's really what comes next. I would assume the next pickoff as the Hunters are finishing up their Draining Blades, and Heartseekers getting a little bit of pen. One good pick at this point in the stage should yield a Gold Fury for the first team, and our first real advantage of the game.
So middle tower's in trouble here. You see MLC Stealth and Jeff Hinlam moving in, not doing too much damage, and a good Chain Lightning will force MLC Stealth's feet there as he's forced to retreat. Looks like ShadowQ's going to take some damage. Holy! Almost goes down. 3 bombs thrown as well as a Thunderstrike. They actually almost found a kill there, and I'm sure ShadowQ is just as surprised as the rest of us.
So, moving right along, Best here, taking a little bit of harass in the mid lane, but still looking okay. Not too bad, but Stealth is playing just crazy well so far, DM. I mean, and I expect that that it will be COG to need the first Gold Fury here, considering how this is going for them. Although Stealth does overextend a little bit there, but I don't think they're going to be able to chase this one down, especially now with Anderson rotating it into the Fearless combo. Best beats that out before the knockup. Nice reactions there by Dignitas' mid laner. Zapman, oh, they reset that actually now. And that's a win for Barracuda. But taking it back to the mid lane where we see the meters coming out. Stealth not trouble. There's the dash out.
World Weaver.
And boom! Down he goes, Zapman, with the timing there. Picks up a kill on to the mid laner, drawing them to a 2-2 stalemate now once again in this game. Just under 10 minutes elapsed.
Well, I mean, the kills are even, but the rest of the game, maybe not so much. 2,200 experience in favor of COG right now as well. Has close to 1,400 gold. While not super crazy in the lead right now, COG still has enough of a control factor to keep pushing. Now, the Throne Axe is going to mix. Barra is completely out of mana, given the fact that he has just used Invigorate and is running away from that Tiger Stun as much as possible. Few shots. It's up to Zapman here. He gets another. He needs 2 more, but Lassus comes in and finds the kill with the slice and dice. Andy's going to miss the push as well. Lassus is just trying to get away from this one. He's and actually, we're going to see Andy turn around here and try to find a kill into someone else, as we're seeing Jeff Hinlam move back as well. Best in a great spot here. Will we see the Lightning Storm? It doesn't look like we're going to have that one available. He's just going to back off here as Andy's going to try to help this team control. He's looking for a blue power cleave to heal up, but right now he's just not in a great spot.
Yeah, you know, they really wanted to dive that tower for the tier, but just weren't really confident enough. Zapman was tanking it, really needed to find the pin there, but wasn't able to get it, so it's going to be a mass recall by Dignitas. They committed pretty heavily to that. Because of that, noting that they're all recalling, smart stuff from COG. They're going to look for their first Gold Fury here, and not in the way I expected, but my prediction appears to be right. They will take the first Gold Fury of this game, and that's going to give them actually a fairly respectable advantage, considering they're sitting at 900 now. That puts them up to 2,400 gold in their favor.
All right, so, I mean, honestly, this was a really, really good play overall. Cognitive has been very smart throughout this series. It seems like they've been playing very well. In Game 1, though, Dignitas was just super clean, and I really love the Ares pick. It just shows that they're practicing the game in different ways, and they've expanded themselves into, I guess, experimentation to the point where they're not afraid of, you know, the normal picks. And then even so, you can see them go into the normal picks of Scylla, Zeus, Neith, Sun Wukong.
Right side lane, they're going in on Omega.
So
DM
well.
kisses out onto Lassus. They're going to use the ultimate as well. There's a Neith ultimate coming in, and that
He's
is going
gone.
to seal the deal. And Yahtzee. Lassus somehow finds the last hit as that does come in, but a kill onto Omega,
Kill
so
steal.
good news. Good news.
Report.
That's good news, though. They need to get that kill onto Omega. First death of the game. They need to slow him down a bit, as he does have cooldown boots plus Warlock Sash finished. Ideally, you get that kill about 5 minutes before just to slow down the Warlock Sash timing.
So you're Aphrodite here, right? You have Neith World Weavers coming at you. You have Lassus kind of camping the lane here. And then you're fighting a Scylla. And then, of course, there's Zeus in the mid lane. What do you want to build up here? But we'll talk about that in a second. Anatoly getting very low, but should be able to escape here. Not sure why they're completely deterred against the solo Lassus, though it should be noted that Best was rotating over, and MLC Stealth was calling out there, trying to get them away from it. Level 13 right now. You can see that MLC is top gold right now, 6,500 and top level. You can see him tied level 13 with Anatoly, Zatman, and then, of course, Omega. But the Best actually on bottom of gold for his team and the game ends in farm at level 11. This is a god that we see banned out a lot, and this is like a major underperformance.
So, Lassus pushes up the right side lane, nearly finds a kill onto tier, unable to get it mid lane. MLC Stealth isn't going to have any of ShadowQ shenanigans. He's going to go ahead and stun him out. But in the meantime, Zapman, it just always seems to find this room to put in 10, 15, 20 auto attacks onto the tower, and it looks like he'll take this down before Barracuda even is able to rally. I doubt he'll be able to clear this wave in time. We'll see. It is Uller after all. No, he goes for Bladed Arrow underneath. Now trying to change auto attack. Zapman misses his number one, so that's going to be that. Now force a fallback as the shock rotation is coming out. It is spotted by the wards.
Oh, Omega taking some pretty decent damage there, but Anatoly is very low. If Anatoly decides to engage or even come back into this lane, Kiss Bird's back off will be enough to clean him up. In fact, level 13, Kiss back off might be enough to clean it up, especially with the amount of damage he can put out with auto attacks. Anatoly must be careful.
Yeah, you know, that's one name we haven't really called out too much. Bookatop done, working on his boots as well, nearly done. Anatoly really needs to start getting involved very, very quickly.
He's going to have a hard time, though. Aphrodite has a great matchup against Scylla. However, the best doesn't have a great matchup against a ton of damage, which is coming through. Or maybe he does with the escape, dodging not only the Thunder Strike, but the Lawbringer as well. Anitzer has put himself into a very unfavorable situation, but Stealth rotates in, and now check out the damage. We do see Anitzer go down here, but Zapman's not willing to let this fight go. Moving forward, finding the stun. Shadow Q gets him. Jeff Hinlow one hit away, sacrificing to get MLC Stealth out of danger. But Dignitas finds 3 big pickups for none.
That's so worth it, man. That Zeus play by
How did
Best
Zeus
was
get out of that?
insane. It was the detonate right after Aegis ended. They didn't have an ability coming in or any dot damage underneath him. So he was able to survive, get the detonate out, and then that allowed him to escape. He just popped his shield and dodged a couple of key abilities and was out, just like that.
Right side, Anatoly returns to the lane here. Back to farming. Mid lane, MLC Stealth forced out. Lassus really finding a lot more, I guess, mojo here with Nemesis this game.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like these ultimates are a little bit better timed this game, even though it was pretty effective last game for Lassus. In this game, it seems like she's having a little bit of a better time of impacting the other lanes, whereas before it was a little bit more about maybe securing ganks and helping slow down that tier and really reinforce that Ares matchup. Here it seems a bit more about keeping everyone off balance, which is really more of the Loki style, as we mentioned during the picking phase.
I hope for everyone at home, if you guys are going to take something away from this game, it really should be the way that Zapman has played it. Zapman was forced out of his lane 2 times, very, very early, almost died repeatedly, and at one point was 2 levels down. This is where most players who are either new to the scene or, not super competent in, the end game meta, they like to spam GG, hey, gank my lane. Like, Zapman just focused on what he needed to do, make sure the wards were in the places they needed to be, and constantly put himself in a situation where he couldn't be ganked. And then you take a look at him right now on the character that should have been bottom farm in this game. He's currently sitting top farm on his team at 3-0-3, only slightly behind Omega here. Very, very strong play from Zap.
Ooh, tier in between the tier 1 and tier 2 here. Anatoly forced out from back behind his tower. Shadow Cube rotating over for the support, but this tier 1 on the right side is gonna get at least contested. Anderson throws out the Fearless Chain on the Shadow Cube just for funsies there. It looks like as he gets healed back up by Omega, and it just doesn't feel like Cog can get a foothold anywhere and push. I mean, Zapman's taken the tier 1 on the left side. No other towers really even in danger of falling at this point. Mid and right have taken about half their HP, but I mean, if they get another kill onto Aphrodite, that means the right side's going to go down, and likewise, of course, Dignitas, if Scylla goes down, they'll lose their tower there. And it seems like maybe the next tower will be very indicative of who's going to be able to really pull ahead this game. Right now, it's basically dead even, experience advantage in favor of Dig, Gold ever so slightly in favor of Cog, and the Gold Fury is back up, so around the map, it's going to be objective play now for about the next few minutes.
And I am just so impressed with the way that Dignitas has just kept their composure throughout every fight. I mean, there have been so many times this game where it was just, it looked like a guaranteed kill, and I don't know that it's been dropped so much just as outplayed, mainly looking at Zapman and the best here as we see Zapman actually get back into a boxing match with Barra. He dodges the Throne Axe as Barra switches back into Axe stance, or rather bow stance. We're going to see something thrown here. I don't know what they're going for, but Heavenly Agility has been popped. Zapman going real far away. Shadow Cube's keeping them off the tower. Heavenly Agility has been wasted. Lassus finds himself into a fight over here. But Anderson with the damage.
Anderson just chases down Lassus for a long, long time there, actually. Best now the one that's in trouble is he's going to be forced to try to dodge. Not going to be able to do so. Baron Curtis steals that kill away. Anatoly misses his ultimate. Anderson quite low, but they're not going to be able to secure that kill. Could this be 4-man wipe for Dignitas here? Shadow Cube going to try to make his way out and kill Anderson will. Jingu Bang, hard to use. And now Shadow Cube goes up into that ultimate form. will not look to re-engage, I imagine. Barracuda still being healed up, and Stealth has pretty nice positioning to cut off Zapman. He tries to make his way back. First meter comes out. That's a stun. Dashing through. Back flip, ticking down. One more auto attack will do it. Bird's going to miss. No Ryu Jingo Bang on the side of Cog, but Omega goes in there. I don't know what Zapman was doing, stalling out. Did he get kissed? I didn't see, but back off. Secures that kill.
Yes.
Oh, that's that.
Did you see Andenster's morbid acceptance of death? That was like the ending to Toy Story 3. He just realized, like, oh man, I'm gonna die. I think I'll just sit here and wait for it. Oh, Shadow Q put himself in kind of an unsavourable situation here. You're going to see Omega try to chase this down, but Shadow Q's pretty quick. Once the Gold Fury's been picked up, the Birds will hit. Back off will hit. The Gold Fury will go down, as will Shadow Q. And Cognitive has not only earned themselves a ticket back into this game, but 3,500 gold in the lead, 1,800 experience. They now own this game.
Ouch. 8-7 in favor of Dig still in kills, but as you mentioned, graphs dipping down towards Cog. They took what was a 2,500 experience advantage in favor of Dig, turned it into 2,200 of their own, as well as 3,500 gold in their favor. Now it's all about towers. Who can convert towers faster? In the meantime, left side lane, Barracuda being chased down by Lassus. It's going to be tough to outrun. Yeah, the Nemesis, very, very hard to outrun Nemesis there.
Very smart play from Cog in that last engagement. They started focusing on the areas in which Dignitas was using, really, to get out of bad situations. Stopping the Vest from running around the map freely. Making sure they're not using abilities when I'm a Monster's up, so they have the freedom of mobility and freedom of movement to get away from the massive amounts of damage. Not only stopping their deaths, but the possible deaths of their teammates if the I'm a Monster chain would begin to stack. Overall, very smart play coming up for Cog, and despite the fact that they're still down in kills, they have a pretty massive lead here. A lead that they need to be able to push into other objectives. They have no towers down. They need to start working to get some of those down. They have the chance to, contest or even push for Fire Giant or even counter jungle. They should be using this lead and opportunity to get themselves even farther in the lead.
So, right side lane, totally doing what he can to keep Omega out of this tower, but he's going to take a lot of damage from Birds for his trouble. It's going to force out rotations from Lassus to try to keep it in, but I'm not sure if they know Andister is here. And he's going to have a nice angle now, blinking in, going to try to find Toli. No, going to miss it to the Sentinel. Linked up now, and Lassus takes a lot of damage. The shield going to negate the back off mostly there. And Crush is going to be enough to keep them out of the tower. It will not, but Andister decides to go ahead and fall back anyway. In the meantime,
Lawbring on the right side, Bart. Toli's in a lot of trouble. Back off damage is doing a ton. He's trying to get away, but the power cleave's going to clean it up. Best not in a good spot here. Taking auto attacks from both sides, but Omega has to separate. But, here comes Stealth. There's nowhere to go. He got the X defense situation. He ages through a lot here, and he got the Lightning Storm off, but with the 8? No, okay, Storm Call is going to finish that one. Nope, it does not. They finally get him, okay. That was like a Benny Hill music video.
In the meantime, though, Dignitas commits to the split push. Mid lane starts to take some damage from Shadow Q. Zapman throwing in auto attacks into the left side tier 2. Not going to be able to finish off the tower in the left, certainly the mid, maybe someone calling shoving another wave in, but let's take a look at Lassus getting dove under tower yet again. Not sure why he tried to defend that. Was just looking to stall, but does pay with his life. That's going to be a tier 2 going down. In the meantime, Zapman actually does take tier 2 on the left and is going to box Barracuda, but takes a couple auto attacks there. So a tier 1 and a tier 2 traded for the tier 2 on the right. Advantage Dignitas.
It was a very smart push on left. Zapman, Barra jumps in the front trying to stop the Zapman auto attacks. He roots him in place, dodges off to the left, and just shoots his arrows around him, eventually finding the kill and forcing Barra out, despite the fact that Barra at level 18 should have had the damage, especially coupled with the tier 2 to clean that up. It looks like Zap's control and pressure was just a little bit too much, and Barra kind of choked the kill a little bit. That's going to put Dignitas back into a fairly decent situation. They're still about 4,000 gold down, but that's far better than 5,500.
Yeah, but it is, at the end of the day, Aphrodite in the late game, which is, they don't have that kind of traditional assassin carry to match her up with, but tier chalk Aphrodite frontline is going to be very difficult for them to deal with, very hard to get to and secure damage onto Barracuda and MLC Stealth as this game goes later and later. That damage they're doing safely becomes more and more dangerous, so Dignitas, it's a little bit of a timing thing for them, but I feel like they come back online in the hyper late game when Scylla is just going nuts. And Lassus has some damage items, but I don't know. Who are you giving the late game to here?
It's going to depend, honestly. I think neither team has a major advantage. Of course, Scylla is huge, but Aphrodite Sustain, they don't really have a lot to shut that down. Honestly, I think it's going to come down to who throws at the Fire Giant. If one team botches an initiation or decides to go in too soon, it's really going to come down to who's going to be able to pick up the buff or force out the Dia side. Neither team, I think, has a distinct advantage, especially, with that Storm Call available.
You just can't This still a draft, man, but it's just not.
Oh!
Oh! That's a lot of ultimate use. They have to secure this kill. Yeah, they'll get it. As,
I mean, they'll get it, but we saw Divine Judgment, I'm a Monster,
mid lane. A lot of trouble is best. They've already found one kill there. Neath goes down. Now goes down Zeus. Trying to rotate. It is Dignitas. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get anything out of this. They're going to lose Anatoly here almost
Stealth
certainly.
with the dash!
Jeez Louise.
He uses the beads right there to get the cooldown back to ensure the damage goes off, and Anatoly will go down. Diving into the tier 2, getting way too crazy. I don't see Barra getting away from this one, at least not in the long run, unless they all turn to Shadow Q right now, and that they do. Forcing out the ultimate, he just gets up with about 50 health remaining. You know he's excited.
He's happy he's out, but they're going to lose a lot for this. Definitely this tier 2 mid, not a Phoenix, but probably this tier 1 on the left side as well. And or a Gold Fury, or a Gold Fury. Probably the Gold Fury going to go the way of Cog here. Man, oh man, what are they going to do about this now? That's kind of the way it's going, is that it's really a 4v5, because Anatoly is not really bringing anything to the table. 0-3-3 with a combat blink. And he's going to go into Magi's Blessing here as well. It's just,
if you're going to go Scylla, you have to build defense if you're going to be in the solo lane. In mid lane, you have enough protection from the duo lane and from the solo lane and from the jungler. Like, you're in the center of everything, not to mention your towers right there. But he has been, if he's going to rotate around with Book of Thoth, I mean, that's going to make him very slow. If he's going to aggress with Book of Thoth, I think
Dignitas going to try to sneak a gold or fire giant here.
Jeff Himla's ready to go. And you don't try to bait Jeff Himla into steals. It's just not a good idea. I mean, that's how Jeff Himla got his fame in this scene, is that he steals away everything, and put an undying love on him. This is not a situation I'd put myself in.
Oh, they're going to use the Zeus ultimate to try to go for the zone. In comes Dignitas, gets the
they
fire
got it
before Chalk lands. He cannot stop the channel on that. Shadow Q will most certainly fall here. Best is going to avoid the Fearless Chain, though, with his beads. Doesn't matter, still goes down to Andy. Last step forced to run, using his ultimate just for the seed. Stealth, once again, using beads for cooldown. Down goes Lassus, and that's, if not the game, damn close.
You know, on Cognitive, I'm like, oh, well, I missed this, but worth. And really, the last line of defense here is going to be I'm a Monster. Zatman does not have the damage to fight off 5 people. He can box like no other right now, but it's going to come down to the Crush I'm a Monster combo, and it's going to have to get started sooner. Anatoly's going to go down. Was that a combat blink? How did he get out?
Yeah, combat blinks there.
That's
what I'm saying. I mean, once again, look at the way he positioned himself in that fight. He goes to melee range to land his sick on and Crush combo.
Yeah, I mean, if he just doesn't seem comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are they pushing again for? Okay, I guess Shadow Q's about to come up. The best is up in 6. I can definitely see their retreat here. It should be noted right now that Zatman does have the Fire Giant buff available to him, but nobody else on Dignitas does except for Anatoly, who has been kind of a misnomer at best. I mean, look at Anister right now, walking in and taking the speed buff away from 2 or 3 people. He's just completely unafraid at this point. Looking at the gold, 9,400 in favor of Cog. Looking at the experience, we have 3 level 20s because 12,000 experience favor in Cog. I mean, this is a bad spot for Dignitas to be in.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those kind of like ranked game style of picks where they're like, let's take Scylla and not let them have it. And yeah, you're playing a solo lane guy, and then that your full solo laner's like, I wanted
Afro.
Play Scylla. And yeah, I mean, look at that.
Oh, Barracuda's super low right now. Back off, going to separate them, and he looks like he will be able to escape. Are they going to try to heal him up, or will they turn here? But the best is ready to fight. Chain Lightning's going to hit. It's not going to hit the targets he wants as it bounces to the creeps and not the team. That's got to be frustrating for him, but there's little he can do at this point. Ultimates available across the board here. Only a few missing. They're going to have to try to make something happen on Dignitas. They really should have pushed in for something bigger there. They need to create opportunities for themselves, especially with this Phoenix down. They don't have the opportunity to really split themselves and lose engagements.
Now, what do you think about this, what appears to be Magi's Blessing pickup going to be coming the way of Anatoly here? I mean, is it even worth it? Should you just go for pure damage at this point? It's not like you staying alive is really helping out that much. I don't know. I feel like maybe the damage rush would have been maybe even the better option.
Well, I mean, the way that he's been doing this so far hasn't been working out so much, but I mean, as Scylla gets later into the game, it helps if she builds damage. Without it, it's going to be hard for her to really keep up, especially considering he hasn't been hitting those I'm a Monsters. Now, Jeff Himla going to reevaluate his situation. Double power cleave, fearless combo as Anister tries to stand switch. He goes back in. Best one hit away, will go down. Shadow Q's low, Last is low. Anatoly trying to finally make his name, but couldn't even get one person down with the I'm a Monster under half. He will drop. Zatman's in trouble, just trying to box out. He's going to drop as well if he doesn't get out of here as fast as possible. Actually, Andy, not in a good spot there.
That's Zatman, though.
Yeah, holding his own. Jeez.
really nuts. He had a lot of auto attacks there. And also to point out something important happened just as that fight was breaking out. The Neath ultimate was disjointed by the Agni Dash. Really, really clever timing there by MLC Stealth. I would imagine that was on purpose considering he's a pro player, but that was very serendipitous.
Shadow Q abusing the jump mechanic there. You can see he did get stunned, but he got stunned mid-jump, which allowed him to gain a very small amount of space, enough space to put himself into a better position, but unfortunately, he put himself immediately back into a position that he did not want to be in. And now poor Zatman trying to follow up will fall as well. Anatoly's up in 9, but it looks like Lassus is getting chased down here. Will he have an opportunity to escape?
He's going to try. The ultimate should secure his escape, but not an ultimate that you always want to blow necessarily. It definitely helps a lot with some of these more resilient targets. At this stage of the game, especially considering it's taking percentage of protection and HP. So, it's not that large teamfight ultimate. It's a very good single target ultimate, but it does result in the survival of Nemesis, but they will lose their final tower. The tier 2 on the left falls in favor of Cognitive. The gold advantage is enormous. The XP advantage is enormous as well, 11k and 18k respectively. That's going to be enough to have a secure and pretty good late game here. I mean, they're quite a bit ahead. All they got to do now is break the base one time. Right side, already going to be a weak Phoenix by the time it respawns. If they can pressure mid, it's probably GG.
Aphrodite right now, 12,000 damage, 16,000 healing deep. Omega has hit level 20. Chronos Pendant online, giving him full CDR. Ethereal Staff, coupling with the height of the Urchin. Warlock Sash going to give him a ridiculous amount of health in that pool as well. I'd be very afraid of Aphrodite at this point. He's 3,165 health at 30 minutes
really
into the
big.
game.
With the Warlock Staff Ethereal, I mean, if you let someone get that combination by about 30 minutes here, as you see, it results in a lot of HP and a pretty fair amount of magical power as well.
Yeah, I mean, she's sitting on 265. I mean, not super high, but you put something like a Rod of Tahuti to finish up, or even a Void Stone, I mean, she's going to be swinging pretty hard, considering that she also puts out a ton of healing.
Yeah, and a huge damage potential as well. Also, Chronos Pendant, apparently best item game, picked up on 2 mages for Cog.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of Chronos Pendant in this game. You see it on Omega and MLC Stealth. Oh, we're going to see some damage here. Lass is taking too much, using Divine Judgment to try to get away, but he will be cleaned up. I'm a Monster's not going to find the target that he's looking for again, but Anister will go down there. So far, a 1-for-1 trade in the junglers as the damage begins to pressure forward once again. Shadowcube finds himself in the backline. The Best finds himself inside of fire as Barracuda finds himself with a kill.
That man forced to sprint out of here. It's going to be pursued by Stealth. Flamewave's going to miss. Crush is going to hit 3 there, but it's not going to be enough to deter them from stopping. Bladed Arrow dodged by the Sentinel. Just underneath it there was Toly. 3 members of Dignitas alive right now. They're not going to be able to stop the weakened White Phoenix from going down. Anatoly, once again, just not having a very, it just doesn't look comfortable. I think he put it, correctly the first time. Just doesn't seem like he really knows exactly what he wants to do with the Scylla. And we haven't seen any ultimates, and we haven't really seen any presence in the fights like we normally would expect from Scylla. So
Zap throwing out the Spirit Arrow there on the weave, trying to catch MLC Stealth, but does not find the damage. It's going to be Shadowcube versus 4 trying to find this Fire Giant, and it should be noted that Omega still has his ultimate available to him. Bombs are back up, and Lawbringer as well, though Tyr is still respawning.
Yeah, Shadowcube's here, but
gets out,
down to timing.
Stunned out. Push back.
For him.
Nope.
It's in there. He's in there.
Too early.
Oh, no, yeah, too early.
He looks for the what we call the perfect phase. Gets him exactly as it hits 25%. It's very difficult to do. You'll notice some people say, "I know I threw my hand. I know it was yellow." Sometimes if you do it and it's still in the normal health bar and it turns yellow while you're casting it, it still won't count. The latency counts it as the bar goes down on your screen. It must be yellow before you use it. And he used it about maybe a full second too early there. Wasn't even close. And now Fire Giant enabled. Cognitive's getting another Phoenix.
Yep, the mid Phoenix is going to go down here. They can take left or the left side as well if they want it. Let's see. Do we have all the ultimates available? No ultimate for Zatman, no ultimate for Shadowcube. Still not online yet. They do have the Lightning Call from Best, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to use it as he's forced out of this fight. One application of Birds puts him down to half HP.
This has been a pretty rough game for Dignitas here. They had a very strong early start, especially with the way that Lassus was playing, but Cognitive has just answered repeatedly, and now Fire Giant enabled 3 Phoenixes in their favor. You can see that they're just not afraid of anything, and with the healing coming out from Omega, there really isn't much they can do. They already find a kill onto Zatman. Jumping in, Lassus is super low health. Anatoly has nothing to do here, misses the I'm a Monster, goes down. Lassus one or two hits away. The best is already down. This one, Bart, this is going to be GG.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to stop them here. The Fireman's taking up the Titan, and there it goes. What appears to be a concede coming through.
Yeah.
I don't think they bursted it that fast, so they go down on their own terms as Dignitas. But it is going to be a game number 3 this week in North America in the finals.
Yeah. We saw game number 3 first week? Or has, no. I think
I think this is
the first game 3 in finals.
In North America, yeah.
In North America, yes.
Last week, EU was as well. All right, guys, that does do it for us for game number 2. We will be moving into game number 3 in just a couple of minutes. We're going to take a short break between game 2 and game 3 of the finals here, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere for the exciting conclusion to week number 4 in the Smite World Championship road to the qualifiers. My name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me once again, DM Brandon. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in just a couple minutes with the finale of COG versus Dig. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, as I get my headset settled. Welcome to game number 3 here of the finals. My name is Bart, that's DM, and we are getting ready to get underway with Lassus and the boys going up against Cognitive Gaming, MLC Stealth Barracuda, and the crew 1-1. And in game number 2 there, it was all COG.
Maybe not all COG. The beginning seemed kind of Dignitas heavy, but man, the comebacks, not even comebacks, just the smart picks were just so incredible, especially coming out from Barracuda. I mean, he was just very great in his positioning, but at the end of the day, you got to talk about Omega. That healing was outrageous. And I remember a couple weeks ago, everyone was talking about how, the only reason Aphrodite did well at PAX or how Aphrodite did well at the launch tournament is because people didn't understand her. And I'm starting to think that I think she didn't do as well as she should have because people didn't understand her. And I think Omega is really bringing that to light today because the amount of healing and damage control and just safety that he gave his team was just unbelievable.
Yeah, I fully expect that old Aphrodite is not going to make it through the banning phase this time. I think Dignitas would certainly be foolish to not first pick it as well this time, but we'll see. What they do like to do, guys, is we are getting pulled in. This time it will be COG on the left, Dig on the right. And our banning phase is getting underway. We're waiting on the first ban to come through from Cognitive here. Any predictions?
Well, they don't need to ban Afro. It's their pick. That's going to be, it looks like, an instant ban of Bastet, and right over to Dignitas for an instant ban of Aphrodite. Oof, that was rough.
Yeah, they didn't even take a moment to consider that one.
I wonder who it was on the team. Just ban Afro.
I would imagine it was Tolly.
This is why you got to learn the counter matchups. I mean, Chang'e has an amazing matchup, not to mention her endgame with Waxing Moon. It really controls a lot. But strangely, Cognitive is going to ban out Poseidon here. Team Dignitas, I think this is going to be Bats. I don't think they're going to give bots back to Andy. I just don't think that's a good idea.
Oh, well, no. I mean, you would expect them to first pick. Oh. Yeah, they banned Odin.
Well, I guess
so. I would imagine.
I think leaving Odin open would have been really smart. That would have forced in either Odin or Zeus pick, which would have gave away either Odin or Zeus and bots. I mean, you can't give a team Odin Zeus. You can't do it.
I think they just want to make sure they pick someone Kong and the other team can't have
Boom,
a duo.
bots.
That would be my guess here. We'll see the Uller SWK come out as bots does get locked in for COG.
I've actually never noticed that bots had a ring in his nose.
Yeah.
Never noticed that.
Yeah,
I just noticed the damage he does when
up
he
with the
teleports and
times.
crits you for 750 million damage. Tier going to be hovered on here for Team Dignitas. Surprising to me considering the fact that they haven't really had too much trouble with him, given the fact that, I mean, we saw Andy do some work last game, but I would have liked to see them bait it out again and then Dignitas go for the Ares pick. Maybe I'm just fanboying a little bit.
Sun
I don't think so. I
Wukong.
think it's going to be,
Tier.
they'll take Tier and Sun Wukong here.
Smart
So
picks.
they want that front line.
Coolers on the board once again. I expect them to probably draft that and then force away the Neath pick here, or even ban it in the banning phase if they don't go right for it, which would leave Scylla open for Team Dignitas in the second picking phase. There's still a lot on the board, to be fair.
Yeah, but we know that it is going to be not Scylla the Soul.
This is what kept COG in Game 1.
Yeah, that's right. So they're going to take Uller and Agni. The Agni again. Wow. Really confident there for MLC Stealth. He'll be fighting into Scylla almost assuredly here.
Tier.
Yeah, I
Sun
like this
Wukong.
a lot. So option
Agni.
back over.
Ooh.
What do you think we're going to see here?
Well, assuming they lock in the Scylla here, the next bans Well, I expect that we'll see Neath banned by Cog.
Yeah. I mean, that's the most likely. I mean, Zatman, even though he was behind, did very well there. But, giving him Apollo, allowing him to split push it, I mean, it's not that big of a deterrent, really.
I'd ban Chalk here.
Really? You think
Chalk or
you're getting
Geb?
rid of Incon's Chalk?
It's going to be Chalk or Geb. Almost assuredly, that'll be the ban. It's just a question of which. And I would take out the Chalk, probably.
Well, yeah, considering the Geb didn't do very much,
Yeah.
and Chalk had some serious control in the last game with that Storm Call, not to mention the damage from that Thunder Strike.
Granted, they did have the Ares against the Geb, which obviously is very, very potent.
Well,
So,
Geb is going to be,
yeah, we'll
looks
be
like,
Geb.
yeah, Geb's going to be taken out.
And yeah, and I would expect Neath banned here by Cog. They got punished by her a couple times. No, it'll be Freya. So they really do not want Lassus getting Freya. That's the third time they banned her.
Which is strange to me, considering last week, Lassus went, and I'm pretty sure, 0-12 in Game 1, and then picked Loki after that, doing much better. Maybe Lassus has been practicing the character, and maybe he's gotten his confidence back, but it is surprising to see them take so many shots there at Freya.
Zeus neither picked nor banned so far through this phase. They could still put Scylla in the solo lane, I guess, if they really want.
I mean, we have to consider that sometimes you lose. I mean, that happens. Just
Yeah.
because a player does well or not very well one time doesn't mean he and the god together are bad. It just means that maybe he had an off game. Maybe he wants to reprise the role and bring it back.
Maybe Dignitas will be the one to draft Chalk.
Sure.
We're taking a look at him, and we'll lock him in. So,
As solo.
yeah, that'll be the solo Chalk. That's what's going to go the way of Anatoly. I guess it could go to the jungle in some crazy world and tier to the solo, but unlikely.
All right, so option back over to Cog here for 2 picks. It looks like they still need their support. Chalk and Sun Wukong both off the board, as well as Geb. A nice hit to Incontinentia. To Jeff Hinla. But Bach is still available. Ares apparently still available as well as he gets hovered on. And they're also likely looking for a solo laner. Aphrodite not a... okay.
Now, Sobek and Vamana?
Okay, so Sobek support and then Baby over to the solo to deal with Chalk. I am a big proponent right now of Sobek, by the way. I think he is super strong.
Vamana.
I think he has great laning potential, and he wins a ton of matchups. The issue here is that Sobek, if he falls behind, like most Guardians, he's bad.
That's
But
an insta-lock, my
if
friend.
he can keep himself in the game, this Chronos will be just a non-issue, especially against
Yeah.
Sobek Uller. I mean, that's fling into Thronax. What are you doing about that?
Yeah, tail whip into Thronax into fling, or fling into Thronax, and then the tail whip is gross. But yeah, I mean, Dignitas doesn't even consider not taking magical damage here. They go right for that Chronos. And so it's a 4 physical team for Cog. Just the Agni putting out that magical damage now. I'm sorry, they did switch to Sobek. Never mind.
Yeah.
But Sobek, not really a threat when it comes to magical damage.
Oh, I don't know about that. You haven't been watching TV, played Sobek and Siege, huh? Oof.
Are we playing
damage
Siege?
Yes, this is Siege now.
Is there 62 gold per minute spooling here?
Is that how much it is? I haven't been paying attention.
It's like 9 a second in Siege.
It's like 8, yeah. It's good. It's a good time. Everyone's
I mean,
having a
sure,
good time.
Sobek's abilities, and when you look at them, they have absurd scaling numbers on them. Like 2012 Smite scaling on them, like 80% scaling on Sickening Strike, and it's 80% on Lurking in the Waters plus 900 base damage. But he's going to have Sovereignty and Midas Moods and Watcher's Gift and all that fun stuff. So I don't expect him to be a big damage output here. Whereas Scylla, Chronos bring a lot to the table. Tier Chalk, Sun Wukong also bring a lot to the table in terms of damage mitigation that you're going to need. So Dig, probably the better team in terms of difficulty to play against.
So, we haven't been
Cognitive,
talking
or
about...
itemize against, I'm sorry. Itemize against.
Omega is the person that really put Baby on the map. I remember at
Yeah.
PAX Prime where he went 22-2.
Pre-Fatalis.
Yeah, pre-Fatalis. Like this guy, him and Game Hunter are the two, and I would say Zalia have probably the strongest Vamana plays in the entire world. And to see Omega bring this character in today should be very exciting.
We'll see exactly how they're able to work this here. But yeah, you're right. Late game is all Cog here between the Uller, Vamana, and Hun bots. It's going to come down to can Dignitas control the pace of the game, and especially through the mid game, and find a win maybe before the 40-minute mark. We'll find out how it shakes out, guys, in our final game covered today. It's game number 3 of the finals, Cog versus Dig. Up next, we'll see you in a few. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 3. It is the finals, Cognitive Gaming versus Team Dignitas. Let's go ahead and introduce your teams. They are the blue team, fighting out of the order side of the map, bottom side of your minimap, left side of your spectator UI. Ladies and gentlemen, Cognitive Gaming, North America, Anister in the jungle as Hun bots, Barracuda and Jeff Hinlow will be holding down the dual lane as Uller Sobek, Omega in the solo as Vamana, and Agni in the mid lane for MLC Stealth. Their opponents today, Dignitas, they did take down the first 2 weeks of competition, but lost last week to COG. COG could look to pull even here, but they have to go through the Dignitas team. They are the red team fighting on the top of the minimap and the right side of your spectator UI. It's going to be Anatoly in the solo lane as Chalk, Zapman, and Shadowhue combining for the Kronos and Sun Wukong duo. Their solo laner will be, well, Anatoly on the Chalk that I already introduced. Lassus in the jungle is here, I'm sorry, and the best will be your mid laner on Scylla.
So to start off, both Jeff Hinla and ShadowQ have opted into Watcher's Gift and not their respective damage forms. We are seeing a purple pot come out from the best for the mid lane push to ensure he can stay even with MLC Stealth, who had an insane amount of gold lead in the beginning last game against best. So he's going to try to maybe put himself in a worse position here, as Scylla's clear is definitely no better than Zeus's, and it definitely doesn't have as much kill potential in the early game. Otherwise, pretty normal stuff going through. We see the Bumba's Mask coming out. We're seeing Death's Toll, though Omega has opted away from the Death's Toll Heartseeker Rush, which we see a lot, and has opted into Smithy's Hammer to begin.
Smithy's Hammer, you know, it gives you a lot of HP and a lot of physical protection. Helps out, I think, primarily against the minions and the creeps. But is it really substantially better than the Mark of the Vanguard is the question?
Well, I mean, on Baby, giving himself extra protections, it's possible.
Wait. So, sorry, I heard something come in for production, and it kind of blew my mind there. But jumping in is Andister into the solo lane, but they're not going to find a lot of damage here.
Oh,
they will indeed, actually, and the last is there. Oh, that armor
is he
umbrella
going
hurts.
back? They sent him out of the lane at 50
Wow.
seconds without a kill. You don't see that very often. Lass actually favoring the left side of the map, so whether he intends to return or not, I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like his next goal is going to be that small camp, and then, I mean, likely either other small camp or into lane. You can see the push has been real here, though Andy has taken a lot of damage himself.
Yeah, now Lassus is going to fall back to the lane, so not taking the most efficient route, but he thought about those back camps and then decided that he needed to help push this lane back out and also take the free XP where you could get it instead of, I mean, and level 2 is just going to do a lot of damage to you to take that XP camp.
MLC Stealth dashing through the wave safely. You can see no one to be threatened here. Omega dodging the Fearless, taking the Thunderstrike. He's trying to put himself out of danger here, but he's taking a lot of damage in the process. All of the creeps have turned to Lassus and have done about half his health, but Omega, sitting very low right now, is about to take another Thunderstrike and is now sitting below 200 health.
A little bit of trouble maybe here for ShadowQ. Nope, the stop time is looking good for now. Zapman very low, though, in this dual lane as well. He's going to be forced out and back. Now it's the best. He may get tower dove here. Now Annister still sitting level 3. He's going to be forced to just leech a little XP, but Best getting zoned pretty effectively by Stealth as well. So Dignitas losing their lanes right now.
Omega, does he see? He sees Lassus. And Lassus is going to go for it. Anatoly's taking the tower. They're going to get the Thunderstrike. That's going to be first blood.
First blood going the way of Dignitas, and that really helps out Lassus get back into this game. Very nice coordination for them. Anatoly taking the tower just long enough for Lassus to find that kill, and that's really good news for them. Honestly, this was like right on the precipice of becoming an all-cog early game. They had forced Kronos out of the lane. They'd already forced Tyr back once. Scylla was starting to get fairly low on HP. Boss was going to be hitting level 5 relatively soon. If they found a kill of the best there, they would have lost all of their lanes for the first 10 minutes of the game. And but luckily they find their first blood, and Dignitas is looking pretty good now.
So Omega has opted into Morningstar. Do you think that was because he didn't have the gold to finish Smithy's Hammer, or he's just going to rush directly into the Heartseeker? We have seen both builds a lot from any Baby player, whether they want to finish the Smithy's Hammer early or save it as a starter item. I'm not 100% what he intends to do.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it's like he's probably not going to finish off the Smithy's Hammer here, would be my guess.
Save it for later.
I mean, it's going to be kind of like the Aussie style. Like, yeah, maybe you'll finish it eventually. But
I'm
he's
sorry,
go
Lassus is taking a lot of damage here. Annister gets the blink. Lawbringer to stop it. Yeah, but Lassus has put himself in a bad spot, but just barely gets the Fearless out. Rotation coming in from Omega as well, trying to stop Anatoly from interfering. And I'm really surprised to see Omega just run back to the lane here and not just burn Anatoly down.
And there's the real strength of Tyr, right? I mean, even like he has his passive that reduces his CCs to 1 second, then he has 2 dashes and an ultimate that's elite. Now, the fact that he has 2 additional knockups on top of that plus 1,000 damage chain, well, that's a lot of the reason why he's getting nerfed. But there you see really why you draft this god. He's incredibly hard to kill, and he brings a lot of control, both in the enemy wasting control on you and the control you bring to your team.
Well, let's not attribute that completely to the god. Lasses was extremely predictive of when that ult was going to come out.
That's true. If he was hit there by the
played it
Hunbots, he was dead. Yeah, no. Perfect.
He had the
execution, of course.
tools, but Lasses used the tools correctly.
That's right. Anyone can put on the tool belt, but only Bruce Wayne can do that.
There's multiple Batmans. Don't do that.
What are you talking about?
There's like 80 Batmans.
What, about Val Kilmer and George Clooney?
No, that's not what I meant. We're going back to mid lane. MLC Stealth going to get a free wave of experience here after the push the Best put forward. You can notice the Best has not really been a part of any kills, but he has kept his sustain up throughout the time. You're seeing MLC Stealth at 3,300 right now, whereas we're seeing the Best closer to 32. So the pot definitely keeping him in line as we get a rotation. Stormcall going to put Anatoly in a pretty good spot here to try to escape. Nice control coming out from Best, but too little, too late. They will answer their first blood finally with another kill, and that one's going to be on Anatoly.
And Kog has found themselves, 300 gold to an advantage. Even with the first blood going the way of Dig, they have the XP and gold lead right now.
Which is strong for them, especially this early in the game. Andy still has his pot available, but both solo laners have actually dropped a kill at this point. And with MLC Stealth getting that kill himself and the gold, it's going to put him even farther into the lead, especially in experience. You can see him level 8 right now, 3,700, whereas the Best level 8 at 3,300. Wave to wave, I imagine the Best is going to be in some trouble in a few minutes.
Well, maybe. We'll see. Because Scylla just has so much burst. And if they get some decent control coming out of the jungle, a Fearless Chain will guarantee an I'm a Monster. If they have, if they're relatively certain the Fearless is going to hit, he can go ahead and channel it.
And he does have Soul Trap available to him, meaning by the time that Book of Thoth gets stacked up, the damage will be real.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of damage coming up from Scylla. Scylla, really one of the premier, just build all damage item style abilities, or style gods in the game. And
all you Outclong and Anubis players out there, start playing Scylla. You'll be excited.
Yeah, you'll have more fun that way. So Anasir and Lassus spot each other out. The mid camp's going to be contested. Left side going to be up a bit before the right side. Looks like about maybe 20 seconds ahead. But it's a 4-man collapse by Cog right now. Only 3 from Dignitas. They really don't want to fight this. And if anyone but Shadowkey gets plucked here, it's going to be ugly. Wow, what a sicko there by Best. Just a cheeky play there.
Throws it out, finds himself an opportunity to keep his team safe. Not sure if that charge prey would have applied or not, but they're going to be rotating over towards the right side as the camp begins to blink. They're looking for something. Crush going to hit one. Teleport coming out from the Best. Use the ultimate, forcing Best directly into a wall. And remember, the Sentinel is down. Lass is going to miss the Fearless. Shadowkey just trying to chase them out here, and nobody's going for the mid camp.
Hey, well, who needs mid camps? I mean, they're only worth a bunch of gold and XP. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and pick that up. And Dignitas has effectively zoned Cog out. Also, in the meantime, Anatoly's going to get a good position to trade an entire wave with Omega. And such is the life of the melee solo laner.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, so far there really hasn't been too much going on in that solo lane after those 2 kills. I mean, both of them just trying to stay safe, keep themselves alive, but it should be noted that Omegatron is level 10 right now, comparatively to Anatoly being level 9, meaning he's going to have a little tiny bit more damage available to him. Of course, depending on what Anatoly built, I mean, that might not have been important to begin with, because he might just be going for healing rain.
Probably maxing
rain
healing
dance,
right here.
not healing.
I would think. Yeah, I would think he's probably maxing it. Yeah.
All right, so Best in mid lane, going to use the Crush. Jingu Bang going to help out to clear that wave as Jeff Hinla just tries to control some of this experience, not lose too much of that or too much gold. In the meantime, Sickening Strike to keep himself up, and MLC Stealth with the Flame Wave will keep that going to ensure they don't miss much at all. Left side, Shadowkey trying to put some wards down, and something we haven't talked about here is Barracuda and Zatman have been strangely silent.
Yeah, I don't think that that Uller has great tools to kill Zatman on Kronos. It's actually pretty interesting. They're fairly similar if you think about it. Tremendous amounts of burst damage set up by the stun. And so as long as they dodge each other's stuns, and it's pretty hard for Barracuda to hit Zatman with a stun, because Zatman's stun will continue to fire even if he does get stunned out by the axe. It has the superior projectile time. This could be the kill, though. Here comes the Huntbot's ultimate. But Zatman just goes, yep, let me rewind. But you already saw how much burst the monkey brings to the table. Hold that thought, however, it's the mid lane. Looks like we may have a dive coming out. Omega is going to get hit by the I'm a Monster, but it's not going to be enough for the kill. Lassus wants to continue in, but Jeff Hinla's tail whip will disrupt that plenty. Now heading back towards the left side here. No, I'm sorry, they're continuing. Anatoly's here. Best. No, Best is going to miss the Sikkim there.
Lurking in the water's damage.
That is so big.
Charge Spray is going to be missed again. Lawbringer is going to be activated. The monkeys start to box here as Anasir has put himself into an unfavorable situation. Zatman rotates in, Barracuda hot on the heels, just going to try to keep him out, but really he doesn't have the mana to contend this, and it looks like Zapman knows that. They're trying to fight 1 for 1, but I don't think Zapman realizes the rotation coming out.
He doesn't have a stun either.
Oh, this is trouble, Bart. I don't like this at all. Dignitas has 5 members here, but all of them are kind of low health except for Best, who doesn't really have enough damage to burst anyone down at this point without his ultimate.
Yeah, they want to go back, but they're going to lose a Gold Fury if they recall too fast here.
Oh, my.
Oh, the umbrella.
Oh, man. Zap's probably clenching pretty hard right now. Like, I'd be clenching.
So, here comes Lassus. He's going to force a reset. Anderson does
And he
find
found a
Anatoly
kill
in the
in
back
the
line.
back, though.
They might
Nice
pick up
teleport.
Lassus as well here now. Yeah, they will as the bombs come through. Not prepared for that damage.
And look at
Zapman's gonna fall as
Omega!
well. That's 3 members of Dignitas down in
That
favor of a
is-
Gold Fury reset. They don't even...
This is very messy.
That
Even the
is-
commentary has been messy. This is very messy.
They are, it's an interesting choice there to continue to engage. You know, I think they ended up giving away more than the Gold Fury was worth there in deaths before also giving up the Gold Fury.
Not to mention left mid camp's going down. MLC is going to push a wave into the tower here, and then right mid camp's coming up as well, which is you see the rotation is happening already. That was a huge, huge pickup for Cognitive. That game was even before that started. We were sitting at like 200 gold difference, maybe 1,000 experience. Now you take a look at the board, 3,100 gold, 6,000 experience. Cog is definitely sitting pretty right now.
Yeah, they are. And there you saw, you know, the chalk rotation come out with pretty nice positioning, and they weren't able to convert any kills off of that. And when your solo laner rotates like that, you really need to find the kills. And as you notice, their Cog gets the better of that exchange. Omega rotates over, finds a kill, and secures a free Gold Fury for the team.
This was really, really strong overall for Cog right there. And now you can see, I mean, look at the levels. MLC is 13 right now. Anatoly just procced into 11. The best is level 11. So you see the rotations come over. Shadow Q, though, is level 10, but so is Jeff Himla. And Jeff Himla is usually so far behind because he allows Barracuda to get so much bigger. He's fine with giving up that experience and that gold. He doesn't mind it because he knows that in the end game, he needs his carry to be doing more damage, whereas Shadow Q tends to kind of hang around for a little while longer, though it should be noted that Zapman isn't too far behind. Mid lane getting pressured here. I'm surprised to see them turn on to Shadow Q, but they did force the ultimate, but at what cost?
Yeah, they're going to get Shadow Q up in the ultimate. Decoy still wailing on Anderson. They're going to go for the overhead smash. Sticky's going to ox out of that for now, at least. Barracuda's rotated as well. Here comes Zapman, trying to make his way over from the left side. He wants to stun out Barracuda, not going to find it. He really just wants to find that burst damage and continue to whittle down Barracuda and try to, you know, do his favorite thing in the world, which is auto-attack towers, but hasn't been too effective at that yet.
Barra comes back, actually throws Hail of Arrows onto the creep, missing Zapman by just a hair. He's going to try to push forward and keep Zap honest here. But actually, Zap's going to find a max range stop time into time rift combo. You can see Barracuda took about a third of his health for his trouble.
Yeah, Dignitas is, you know, skewed more towards the late game, though. It's no big surprise that they're going to lose the early game here, but they need to keep it at least competitive and close, or they're never going to find the late game.
And so far, Cognitive, this is the Cognitive I think we expected from week 1. Win or lose at this point. It's just their communication and their play. And again, guys, please note the jump. That's the second time that someone on Dignitas has negated part of that stun. He's jumping, using his space key or whatever you want to rebind it to jump into the air while the stun is going off, right at the beginning. But he will maintain his complete movement until that jump has landed. So instead of... he jumped, 6 or 7 feet forward, ensuring that the stun only technically lasted for about 0.2, 0.3 seconds. Very
I don't know
smart
what
play.
you're talking about. Stun doesn't affect gameplay, or jumps doesn't affect gameplay at all.
Sure.
It didn't do that. That's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened. I do it all the time.
Nah, no gameplay affecting.
I can't tell if you're trolling.
Of course I'm trolling.
Anatoly putting some pressure onto Omega for the second time here is forcing him back. Omega has had a little bit of trouble maintaining his mana, but look at the build, Bart. Heartseeker's done. You know it's stacked up at this point. Warrior Tabby's done. The penetration's in there. Smithy Hammer's still level 2, but he just maxed sprint for control. In the right side camp here, we're going to have some pressure. MLC's very low, and Shadow Q will find the kill as Andy finds the best in the background. Mid laners will go down as Lassus is trying to find an escape for lurking in the waters. Takes about a quarter of his health. Anatoly trying to chase down Anderson. Stormcall's going to land, but push it back in the wrong direction, as we're going to see Shadow Q and Jeff Himla rotate back in. No more casualties will be found, I think, in this fight, but still mid laner for mid laner, not a bad trade.
Well, Best should have gone down. Is what happened there. Honestly, Anister used the ultimate earlier on, just before that fight broke out, and they weren't able to kill him, but then still found Best in the backline without the ultimate. Best shouldn't be going down there. He should have stayed out of that fight and sent him back up.
I agree 100%. And I think that's one of the reasons he get picked off. I mean, it's going to be hard for you with Sentinel to escape a Hunbots with a jump and a teleport, but that was maybe not the best play. And the Best had, I think, two kind of rough games here. Game 1, I mean, he just trucked away, but the Game 2, Zeus didn't really figure out too much. And then right here with the Scylla, he's having a hard time. And remember, guys, he did opt into a pot to start. So while MLC Stealth looks like he's about 1,000 gold ahead, you should note that it's actually closer to 1,400.
Yeah, that's a really good point. As the pot has obviously worn off at this point, 14 and 3/4 of a minute into this game, just under 15 minutes elapsed, guys. Cog up 5-2 right now.
Did you see the steal?
No, I missed it.
Omega handed about half a second too early. Walked right in, Anatoly does, and just popped the hand of the gods, took the buff away, and once again, Omega goes back to the base.
Yeah, but it's Vamana. And he already has Heartseeker done. He's going to have Fatalis finished in probably his next back in the next 2.5, 3 minutes.
Still going to lose at least one creep worth of gold, depending on how fast he can get there. He might be able to pick this wave up. Best taking a lot of damage. Stealth raining down some bombs. You see Best sitting at about 1/3 of his health, maybe a little bit less overall. But either way, I mean, he has taken some pretty serious damage and will not be a major, I guess, function in the next team engagement, which looks to be starting as Barracuda gets aggressive.
Yeah, dashing through there is Stealth through. Last is going to force him back. Not force him, but Last is going to fall back. Not want to take too much damage. Shadow Q going to get harassed here by Jeff. Jeff throwing out a tail whip and sickening strike combination. And Cog really wants to just sidle up to the Gold Fury here and try to, just force everyone to stay out. Lassus actually finds the Fearless Chain on reaction to Anderson's blink in, but they don't have enough damage to kill the Hunbot just yet. Lawbringer coming out as well. Ultimate not used just yet. Lassus does fall to Stealth. There's the Iba Monster and hits Japinla, but that's not really the target they want. Decoy destroyed by the Lurking in the Waters explosion there. The Best not in a lot of trouble. In the meantime, Shadow Q does find the kill on Japinla, but Best will fall. Zapman unable to do enough damage to peel at this point. Without crits, he's just pretty far behind.
That man right there will force the reset out, but I mean, a 2-for-1 trade, giving away just the support. Oh, Andy has gotten too aggressive here. He jumps away. Zapman's taking the damage from all sides. Andy comes back in with a great overhand smash, and it's going to be up to Zap to dodge a few more shots here. He dodges one, but couldn't dodge the last, and he will go down. Another member of Dignitas fell. Now, I think Zap's pressure there to stop the Gold Fury was good, but after that, I think he should have just dipped out. I mean, that was dangerous, and he paid for it.
But
that was rough.
No, and Anatoly and Omega continue to duke it out in the solo lane. Looks like Toli should be able to relatively well take this tower down. We'll have another rain dance here. No, he's going to go out. He's actually going to use the ultimate to get out, and then he's going to go back in on Omega, and might die now if the slow hits. Nope. Omega's going to clear the creeps, using the hand even for that. Anatoly going to hog the back line, and they're going to go ahead and disengage. In the meantime, Zapman finds about half of the tower on the left side, tier 1, in damage. So, doing pretty well for himself.
Anatoly's super low right now. He's probably going to be forced back to the base here. All members of Cognitive are healed up and getting ready to leave the base. Taking a look most notably at Omega, has opted into Ancient Blade level 1, of course, and Cloak, which is a level 1. So he's going to be probably into either Hide of the Urchin or Magi's Blessing. Likely Hide of the Urchin, given the fact that it will work not only with Smithy's Hammer, but his passive as well, making him extremely tanky. But Anister finds a surprising kill very quick.
Yeah, he's just...
That's the damage of Hunbots.
Teleporting in.
Oh, Lassus!
Just in time, just before the port comes out with the beat still used. He's going to Shadow Q trying to... I mean, he's critting him, but they're not going to be able to burst him down before he gets him with the ultimate. If it was close, 2 more crits there, yes, but Shadow Q gets out of there. In the meantime, Zapman's running down Japinla, but he's not going to be able to kill the Sobek. Sobek just too much control to reliably go in on there. Gold Fury still available and lurking. Zapman now in trouble. He's going to try to rewind this, but it's not going to be in time. He's going to go down as well. At this point, Dignitas is just kind of feeding kills.
Gold Fury is going to be started. Note, guys, 3 members, including Jeff Hinla, Anister, and MLC Stealth, are extremely low in the HP department and can be picked off by a good play. Omega's Clear the Path going to be stopped out, but I don't think Shadow Q is going to make it over there in time. Cog will find another kill and the Gold Fury. And in the Game 3 of Finals today, this is Week 4 of the Smite World Championships, they have a pretty expanding lead here. Oh, wait, that just got shrunk.
Sure, yeah.
That was maybe a little bit too aggressive there. That was, I think, very irresponsible of them to walk into mid lane the way that they did, thinking the best didn't have enough damage to kill them at level 15 with a Book of Thoth. That would have been, I don't really know how they intended to get that done here, but he will move actually into the mid lane. I thought he was going to help with the mid camps. You can see Barra behind him going to cut off his path here. The best could be in some trouble. Look at the damage! Blinking coming out from Anister, and he will get erased just as fast as he erased some in the mid lane just before.
Wow, that uncharacteristic misplay there by Best. Not usually the player we're saying was way too overextended trying to take that tower. Just not the style of player he is, and there does go down to a pretty rudimentary gank. I mean, they had vision of that rotation as well.
You know, if you were to say, hey, someone on Team Dignitas just overextended trying to kill a tower and died, like you said, Best would know. Oh, ShadowQ stuck against the wall. I don't see him getting up in time, but the bird will be able to get him out of there in the nick of time. Double Fearless coming out, double Beads coming out, and now they're trying to make something happen here. Barra has enough boxing potential to really shut this down, but Zapman's going to rotate in. Accelerate's going to be active. Time Stop's going to go for it. Oh, just barely going to miss. Omegatron goes up into Big Baby. Lassus, Lawbringer's out. Zapman rewinds out, and it looks like Dignitas will remain safe.
There is no Fatalis yet onto Omega, so only really dangerous while his sprint is active. It is a sprint rank 3, however. And it looks like he's going to be delaying Fatalis, in fact, in favor of the Hide of the Urchin. Already sitting on the armored cloak right through there, so Stealth in a bit of trouble, but going to dash out. Totally not going to be able to pursue that very well. And Dignitas looks like they want to keep fighting here, but they are relatively low on HP and mana for their front line.
I absolutely love the way that COG has been playing. I mean, they're not, this is very unusual to me, because COG is usually, of any of the top teams in the world, are the ones that are just known to overcommit to fights, but they've been so patient. Omegatron in the back trying to fight 3. I'm a monster, gonna find Jeff! I'm a monster, gonna find Barra! I'm a monster, gonna find Omega! Triple kill!
Oh, Best. Oh, that was fun.
Wow, what incredible pacing and positioning coming out from Dig, and a great spot to go for it here. Jeff's gone. Hand 3 is off the table. This Fire Giant, if they don't get wiped, is going to go to Dig.
I'm laughing here because I'm looking in chat, and the last thing that someone said is, oh, Dig lost. And then I'm just waiting for the chat to explode with, oh, Best, you're the best player ever, Dignitas on top. But MLC Stealth does find a double kill there as Dignitas goes for an untimely Fire Giant. Best will find the kill on Anister in the back line, still continuing to duke it out. Stealth and ShadowQ, and Stealth knows that is not a good position. But he does find a couple kills and delays the Fire Giant. So, you know, small victory for them, I suppose. But morale crusher to lose your Hunter, solo laner, and jungler all to one ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, that's the power of Scylla. This is why she's picked up. We're going to run this back, guys. Let's take a look at the destruction that just went down. Take a look at my man, the Best.
Nope, finds the positioning. Sobek gets silenced out, says, you know what, I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and find the kill. Bear's the first, and actually the first I'm a Monster does hit Barracuda. And Omega was you kind of knew that he was just going to move out as fast as possible. We also have the Agni play here that did result in the double kill. You can see it's just a matter of bombs dashing through there, and then another bomb to seal the deal onto Zapman. So they pick up some return kills on some very important targets as well.
Incredible play. And, you know, you do this, you see this in ranked, you see this in a normal game, like, oh, I've seen those kills before. He just read the movement and predicted the actual pathing of 3 of the best players in the world back to back to back. That is not by any stretch of the imagination an easy feat, and the Best has single-handedly kept his team in the game.
Yeah, that was a pretty big play to keep them going. I mean, it's still a sizable advantage for COG, 3K gold, 7,000 XP. But it keeps them very competitive.
Man, this is an incredible comeback, honestly. I mean, you take a look at the chart here, and it just starts dipping down little by little, and this is what Dignitas needs to do to keep themselves in the game. Give the Best opportunity enough to find these situations where he can put this team with these kills. I mean, you hit the tab button. You hover over the Best right now. He's sitting on 285 magical power. You look at his build, Polynomicon's online, meaning he's going to be swinging not only for that huge amount of damage with Crush and Sick 'em and the I'm a Monster, but he has that poly damage. But this is going to be trouble. Teleport, this is what we're talking about. Even with it activated, there's nowhere to go against Hunbots. This is why he's a strong pick. Silence, going to hit 2. Lassus is going to find Annie in the backline, but he jumps away. Lassus has put himself in a very unfavorable situation as ShadowQ is going to try to find some kind of damage here. He's going to change his target away, and it looks like only the Best is going to go down so far.
Yeah, they lose Best, but Best is a tremendous amount of their AoE damage. In the meantime, Zapman playing PvE on the left side is going to find a tier 1, but noticing this, Cog should consider the Fire Giant. Anderson's just so low, unfortunately. They don't really have much sustain to get him back up. And dropping up a mana over the Ra that they could have taken for situations like this here. So here you'll see a bit of the trade-off. They won't be able to get any objectives off this, and Zapman's looking for a tier 2 here, but he's almost certainly going to die unless he has some serious tricks up his sleeve. We'll see what he's going to do. Dodges the axe, stuns out Barracuda, but it speeds. Zapman!
This is not going to help him. He's right back in the same position. That 8 seconds was way too long. He needed to move around a little bit more to bait it, though he has had enough time to let Shadow Q get in there. Charge Spray's going to miss. He's juking a lot. Barracuda's low, and with not a lot of health, Zapman finally will go down, and now they're going to turn their sights to Shadow Q, possibly even rush down for the Gold Fury, but it should be noted that Last is... Oh, wait, no, Last is going back. This is a really strong opportunity for them.
Okay, so they don't get the Hunbot's teleport, which they may have tried to tee off on Shadow Q there. So Cog gonna not go for Gold Fury, even though they could take it. Just no reason to group up and potentially get blown up by another series of I'm a Monster ultimates there. Good news, Andesser does have his Deathbringer online on top of his Jotun's Wrath, moving into his Titan's Band, it looks like here, so a lot of pen coming out. And as predicted, Omega still has not finished his 50s hammer. It also looks like he's going to go for the rank 2 Witch Node, not the Fatalis.
That's a very interesting pickup. Looks like this one's going to...
Oh,
what in the
Shadow
actual
Q.
hell?
I don't know what they just
That was not a steal. That was just a blatant misplay from
Maybe
Jeff
he
Henla.
won't take it. I don't know what they were thinking there.
Option
But,
covered here. Barra does find the stun. Shadow will go down for this. Yes, okay, I was going to say if he escaped, Jesus. He will go down, but that's 1,500 gold that they just gained. Bart, take a look at the chart. 666 gold. The Mark of the Beast returns as Dignitas returns back into this game as well, thanks to some very, very well-placed sacrifices. Zapman giving himself up for the tier 2. Shadow Q giving himself up for the steal. These are really good plays. Anatoly, though, might be giving himself up for nothing here. He is not in a great spot. They're going to cover the option here. I don't like this whatsoever.
And he teleports over, and that's gonna be that. Yep, there it is. The crit coming through from Andy. So yeah, I mean, but they do trade Kronos for 2 towers and a Gold Fury there. With the steal coming through as well, that's why you see that big gold swing going back in favor of Dig. Now basically all square, and doesn't help them really get to any items. He gives Anatoly chins, but he immediately goes down with them. Best can probably finish off his Obsidian Shard as he likes it. Shadow Q maybe being able to pick up a shield when he wants it, and Zapman will see if he goes for that Sphere of the Magisaur, or if it is going to be the Obsidian Shard as well there for his pen. They're all sitting on, about 1,000 gold. Lassus, Anatoly, and Zapman all sitting with about 1,000 gold in hand right now, so their items should be finishing up here shortly.
Anatoly right now, level 2 Emerald Talisman on the field. It's going to keep him a little bit more safe against the damage coming out from MLC Stealth. And if you take a look at the board here, 19k coming out. That's going to be top damage for MLC Stealth. But you swing over, you see Anatoly already sitting 21,000 player damage on Chalk.
That's quite a bit. I mean, but a lot of that is solo lane, bruiser versus bruiser. Melee bruiser versus melee bruiser. They stack up a lot of damage on each other.
That's true. Though Omega's only put out 10k.
Fair enough.
It's a pretty surprising difference, especially given the fact that Omega actually has wound up with more kills and more overall death involvement. You see 3 and 3 versus just 5 assists on Anatoly, so it's pretty surprising to see such a large disparity. Though we did see Omega return to the base a lot, but first level 20s are finally hitting up air. Anatoly, the only person on Team Dignitas, whereas Omega, MLC Stealth, and Barracuda have all activated on Cognitive Gaming.
Best gets stunned out, and Omega's actually found him. He's going to be able to zone him out of this fight as the fight rages on the mid lane, and it's only getting dangerously low. Overhand Smash going to be enough to finish him off, and then Bots disengages easily. In the meantime, however, Lassus kills MLC Stealth, and that's an equal amount of burst damage gone from the fight. Scylla's still alive, so big magical burst available for Dig. Anderson's right on top of Best. He's going to keep him out of this fight. Blinking in fact, 2 hits is a kill for the Bots, and that's a lot of the reason why you normally see Bots banned as this fight continues to rage on. Dignitas fairly spread as Zapman gets blown up by Omega, and now they're going to turn their attention to Lassus and Shadow Q, but as I mentioned, they were pretty spread out. And they're not even really able to punish the hyper-aggressive teleport. Barracuda now is a stun setup opportunity. Doesn't look like he hit it there, but pretty sure he's about 80 for 81 on bladed arrows this game. And, volley of arrows this game, and nails Lassus way out as well, and they'll take a tier 1.
I don't think they're going to go... Where Where are they going? Are they not going for Fire Giant?
They're going to
I guess
backdoor
they-
tier 1, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess they don't want to give Shadow Q the opportunity, and I would assume that they think it's going to be coming over there. You can see them favoring the right side of the map, going towards it, but they're going to realize in just a second that they're actually going for the split push, and they're not even going to go any farther. That's going to be all she wrote for this engagement. Cognitive extends their lead back from 666 up to 3,900,
That's
as
quick.
well as a pretty significant experience difference.
That was a fast swing there, going from 600 gold to an additional 3,000 gold on top of that.
Yeah.
And
Shadow Q
just a couple
plays some
towers as
wards.
well.
What's Shadow Q doing? It looks like he placed a ward to the right and left on the blue side of the Fire Giant lair itself, seeing if they come in, not so much if they're doing it. Sentry wards right now, we see one in favor of Jeff. We're going to see one in favor of Anatoly as well, who's rotating down. I think they're going to go for this.
It looks like they are. I mean, I imagine that the reason Sumokong was out of position there was he was looking, he was expecting them to have. Oh, hold that thought. A Shadow Q's been plucked, and if they kill him here, ooh, they will not be able to secure that
If they
kill.
kill Wukong, you're cute.
I know, yeah. Hey, look, stranger things have happened, but they are going to get a big silence right as the ultimate from Huntbots comes out. So nicely timed storm call from Anatoly. They're going to prevent too much follow-up, but it
Hindla.
doesn't matter because Anderson's doing so much damage. Last is out of this fight. That's so much of Dignitas' lockdown. They're not going to be relying a lot on Kronos and a pretty
The
unreliable
decoy!
stun. Barracuda
Oh, no.
does a nice job there with those auto attacks. They're going to take out Best as well here. It looks like Omega will. One more auto attack down he goes. Stealth still alive as well for the in-hand. Zapman going to rewind, but he hasn't gone very far, and he's going to need to hit a big stun. Can't stun Omega, though. He is a large baby. And you can see one of those auto attacks nearly killing Zapman. One more auto attack's going to do it. Doesn't matter. He's going to go down to Omega. Only Shadow Q alive. And can he be the hero that Dignitas needs?
Yeah, the spotlight is definitely on Sun Wukong right now as he's going to go for it. Barra's tanking this and is very low. He actually might get a kill here. Oh, he's going to get low. Cog takes the Fire Giant. Cog takes down Shadow Q, losing Anderson in that fight, but not enough to really deter them. Man, Shadow Q made some plays in that fight, but it just wasn't enough. The initiation from Cog was just way too strong. And now, undeterred, it looks like they're going to get at least one tier 2 out of this as well.
Yeah, they'll go ahead and get a backdoor together here. Omega with the Witchstone done, plus the Heartseeker and the Pen Boots, has enough auto attacks or increased attack speed here to take that down pretty quickly. Now it's going to be the recalls into a group up, and it's just the final last-ditch effort for Dignitas here. They need to hold for probably another 10 minutes to get these Ratatouilles online for Bess and Zapman, at which point they'll hit their kind of final strength in terms of their timings. Around that 40-minute mark, once they get big mages online, plus potentially that Chalk, but it's going to be tough to fight into Hunbot.
We really saw the lack of damage from Zap in the last fight, because Zap throws out the stop time after the rewind. He only hits Jeff Hindla, so he says to himself, if I'm going to get some damage, I better throw it on the one person that I've guaranteed it on. He throws it on Jeff, who is low health, and it barely even scratched him, Bart. I mean, by the time he recognized the fact that he wasn't getting a kill, he tried to dip out. It was way too late, and he got picked off.
And, man, the Kronos he just can't deal with the Wukong. Or, I'm sorry, the Hunbot's damage.
I don't think anyone can really deal with
No
the
one really
Hunbot's
can,
damage
but
except for
Best is out
Scylla,
of Best is
maybe
out of all these
Wukong,
fights.
or Habwa.
But Best is the one being zoned so hard, and they don't have Zapman playing on a late game Apollo or need something where he can also crit for 800 damage, requiring him to hit skill shots that he's just less familiar with. And doesn't have
Barracuda getting a
same
lot of
slipperiness.
damage onto this Phoenix, Bart. Shadow Q's trying to get as much as possible. Blink coming in. Barracuda's going to be forced to beads away and jump out as Anatoly's trying to find something. Uses Storm Call to deter the rest of the push. The Storm, he's looking for the Thunderstrike. Barra just barely living through it as they're going to turn their sights to the back line. Anatoly will go down.
Zapman going to rewind a lot of his damage, going to put him back in roughly the same spot. He's still being gone in on, though, and they're, look at this. I mean, Dignitas is running away from their base, trying to avoid getting killed. Lassus is going to fearless over the wall. They want to chase out Anister and Barracuda, it looks like here, but, they're putting themselves out of position. If they get turned on here, this is GG.
Oh, Zapman is in so much trouble. What is he doing? He will trade 1 for 1, but I don't know that it's worth it. Shadow Q now in a ton of trouble. Lassus will not be able to push into this and save him, especially with Omega hot on his heels. Now on the screen you see Shadow Q has gone down. Omega with the dash, looking for an opportunity. One bomb might do it, but he doesn't have it. Unfortunate, but the Phoenix will go down, and Cog has put Dignitas completely on their heels.
Still 13 seconds for Anatoly. It looks like Cog's going to go in there. They smell blood. They want to end this game. It's all up to Lassus. He's got to find the Fearless Chain. He's going to use his speeds to get in, but not going to find anybody. And now it's the crits coming out from Anderson. He has so much base damage, and that's GG. Cog takes week number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, they are your victors.
That was an incredible push at the end there, but Dignitas has earned themselves 2 first places and 2 second places, meaning I'm pretty sure, and don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure they maintain their first seed regardless.
I believe that's true because I don't think COG got second in all those weeks.
Right. I think they got second once and third once. So that's going to put them down just a little bit compared to Team Dignitas, who, again, like we said, will take second seed. Honestly, an incredible finals, probably the best finals that we've seen to date.
Yeah, really go. I mean, going 3 games in North America is pretty unique. I mean, it doesn't happen that often. For whatever reason, usually the first game indicates the winner. Dignitas, in fact, takes the first game but loses the next 2. Great play by COG and a nice draft of Homana there, I think. I think that threw them off a bit.
I mean, Omega put out 18K himself, but MLC Stealth putting out 30,900. Andyster putting out 30,600. And while Chalk was hot on the heels at 25, it just didn't quite enough. Zatman putting out 19 compared to Barracuda at 26,000. Yeah. You can see the major disparities there. And, you know, I honestly, while I love the Vamana pick, I want to give this one to Hinla. The tail whips during the engagements were amazing for interrupts. He plucked the right targets, and he still put out 11,000 with, you know, helping with the lurk in the waters.
Telling you, man, Sobek.
Sobek's good.
Coming back. He's going to be back.
Next week he's back for real.
Next week he's back for real. So, guys, this was the last weekend that you will see on the current balance patch. There's a pretty big one hitting on Wednesday, currently on PTS. So be sure to check that out. There's also the European tournament starting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Roughly 15 hours from now, a little bit less, 14 and a half hours from now, you'll have the European tournament kicking off tomorrow morning on the East Coast at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time. For DM Brandon, I'm hi-rez Bart. Brandon, anything else?
Have a good night, guys.
All right, guys, take it easy. We do have the highlight reel for you, so don't go anywhere. Check out the top plays from this weekend and come back tomorrow for the Sunday tournament. That's going to do it for me and DM and all the production staff, all the players, all the admins. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next time.